Hello. What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday nights. How are y'all doing? Can everybody hear me? We're going to get that out of the way first. Can everybody hear me okay? Man, let me know. Let me know if you guys can hear me or if you can't hear me. I'm just going to assume you can right now. So yeah, tonight I had this idea. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. Tier ranking the boutique labels. I think I had this idea like a year ago. And I was going to do like a video out of it, and I just never did it. I didn't quite know how to put it together. And I kind of figured it would be pretty hard for me to decide on certain labels. So I just kept putting it off, but I was like, you know what? Damn it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it now, and I'm going to do it live in front of the people. And I'm going to have you guys, hopefully help me along the way. Yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun to get into it. I'm sure that I'm going to make some people angry tonight with some of the decisions that I'm going to make. I'm sure that's going to happen. But just understand we're all friends and we all love movies and physical media, and it's okay. And also I want to point this out. Where I have certain labels placed on the thumbnail is not accurate to where I'm actually going to put them. I actually don't even know where I'm going to put half of these labels, to be honest. But yeah, I wouldn't spoil my own list on a thumbnail. Come on. So, but I did make sure to put Scream Factory down at the bottom to kind of, troll y'all just a little bit. Cause I'm already seeing so many people. It feels like everybody's got an opinion about Scream Factory. What about everybody else? Everybody's like, Scream Factory is the best. Scream Factory is trash. It's like one or the other. Okay. Manuel, thank you. You can hear me fine. And yeah, Robzilla says Scream Factory sucks. And Movie Addict Matt says they're his favorite. So it's so back and forth with Scream Factory for sure. I will also say that I did split up Scream Factory and Shout Factory. That I put them in two different categories. So there's that. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I'll get into it when I start. We're gonna obviously get into the meeting and greeting first. Reading the chat for a little bit, talking about what you guys want to talk about. What have you all been doing this weekend? Have you bought any physical media? What have you all been picking up? What have you been watching? Most importantly, because as collectors, sometimes we're so laser focused on the collecting rights. We don't always talk about what we're watching. We're watching our collections, right? I tried to, at least. I did start To Live and Die in LA, I think Thursday night before I went back to work. I got an hour into it, and I'm hoping to finish it tonight when I get off the stream. If not tonight, I'll try to finish it in the morning when I wake up. I got to get up pretty early now, so when I get off the stream, I probably am just going to go to bed. I got some coffee right here. I got my Halloween 2 mug, the best Halloween movie from 1981. M-Dub says, "Sup, dorks? You guys in there talking about movies and Blu-rays? Fucking dorks." What's going on, M-Dub? All right, let me go back to the top. There were a lot of comments like when I woke up this morning, but they always get, if you guys comment too early before the stream goes live, they always get deleted out of StreamYard for some reason. I don't know why. But the Vintage Gamer is the first comment that I have. He made this at 4:26 today. He says Scratch Factory should be dead last. I want to get into that real quick because I've seen so many. I got these Chucky 4Ks, I think last Thursday. Was it last Thursday or last Friday? Last Thursday, I think. I think I got them Wednesday because I put the unboxing video up Wednesday night. So I did an unboxing of these. I did. But I did not take the discs out. I did not take the discs out when I did the unboxing because there's nothing to see behind them. It's just a Scream Factory case. So I am going to check my Scream Factory 4Ks right now for the Child's Play franchise for the Chucky movies and see if any of my discs are scratched. Now, I did watch Bride of Chucky, and I had no issues with that. So I'm assuming that wasn't scratched, but we're going to check it anyway. All right, so the 4K, let me look at that. Give it a good inspection. Everything's good there. Everything's good with the Blu-ray. All right, so my Bride of Chucky is good. And I did point out in the video that these 4Ks are clean as a whistle. There is no off-gassing in these 4Ks this year. No off gassing at all. All right, let's check seed. Let's check good old seed. Isn't that cover awesome though? That cover awesome. But yes, I have never had a disc scratched. I've never had a disc scratch with Scream Factory. I've had them leave discs out of my releases before. I've had the cases torn up when it was delivered to me. Which this I think Seed of Chucky is kind of well, no, these slipcovers aren't, but my original slipcovers are. But I've never had disc scratch. I've never had disc scratch. Will this be the first time? All right, let's check the 4K of Seed of Chucky. Looks like we're good there. Looks like we're good with the Blu-ray. All right. And guys, if you haven't dropped a like on the stream, please hit that like button. I need the likes. I need them. All right, we're checking Curse now. We're checking Curse of Chucky. No scratch on the 4K. Which, by the way, guys, I did put out my review of Bride of Chucky on 4K today. Go check it out if you haven't. Not now, of course. Well, hold on. Something questionable on the Blu-ray. Let me see what this is. I don't think that's a scratch. There's some kind of disturbance I was seeing at the edge. I think it's okay, though. Curse of Chucky's fine. Are you sure it's just not you guys? You're not just manhandling your discs when you get them out of the case? You're not just, I'm ready to watch Chucky. Let's go. Sorry, guys. As always on Sundays, I've worked all day. I've been up since 4:30. I'm in a weird mood. That's how I like it. Cult of Chucky, no scratch on the 4K. Thank God. Now I can watch all the 4K scratch free. And no scratch on my Blu-ray. And you know what? Scream Factory knows better. You know, they know better than to scratch up my shit. But yeah, a lot of people are saying that theirs are scratched. But personally, my personal experience with Scream Factory, which, you know, the boutique tier ranking is going to be based a lot on my personal experience. Not all, but a lot of it is. But my personal experience, I've never had a scratch disc, so I can't use that as a complaint against Scream Factory because I've never personally had that happen to me. All right, but it's good to know all my Chuckies are okay because I did not check those discs in that unboxing. Scream Factory and Kino Lorber says Liam's Secrets the two best. We'll see. Eric Kelly, this is interesting. I did see this. Vestron is a boutique. I thought it was just a label of Lionsgate. Might as well add Paramount Presents and Warner Archive Collection. I love the latter in particular. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because, yes, I do consider Vestron boutique. It's a boutique label under a studio label. They started the label, and it's a line. It's a numbered line. It has specialty, special features. And again, custom-made slipcover for that line. So I would consider that a boutique label. And yes, I absolutely included Paramount Presents and Warner Archive as well in this list because I do consider those specialty labels boutique labels. They get their own set of announcements, and it feels, again, they're under the studio label, but it feels kind of segmented away from the studio counterparts. So that I would consider, if you guys think differently, let me know, but it's kind of set in stone at this point. I've got my 30 boutique labels and I just put 30. You know how many boutique labels are? There's probably like 160, 170. I could not include all of those. I did 30 to what I consider to be the highlights, what I would think is everybody else's highlights. Now there are a couple in there that might be questionable to you all as well, but we'll get into it when we get started. But yes, I do consider Vestron boutique specialty label. It curates its own line, adds new special features in. So yeah, I would consider that a boutique label. Let's see. What's Johnny watching? What's up, Johnny? How you doing? What's up, the original Fuzz? I'm ready to see the sequel Fuzz. Where's he at, man? And we got 156 people in here. Hit the like button. We'll get started momentarily after I say hello to all of these fine people in here. Screen Factory needs to be on the F tier until they get their scratch disc problems fixed. See, the Vintage Gamer, he's been burnt by Screen Factory. He's been burned. Kenny Levels, what's up? What's up, Shep Boy Matt? How you doing, buddy? Kevin L says Screen Factory's great. That's what Kevin, look, Kevin's the GOAT, man. He knows. He knows. What's up, Jesse Brown? What's up, Vinyl Steel? Kim, my boy, hope you and the family are happy and healthy. We are. Everybody's good right now. It's good to be alive. It is good to be alive. And I forgot I don't have to go all the way down anymore to see a super chat, but I did see one pop in there from my girl Tiana. Thank you so much, Tiana. $13.99 Canadian super chat. You didn't even write anything. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Tiana, for always supporting the channel. I very much appreciate that. And for that, let's see. What are you going to get tonight? Get a little. I'll give you a little bit of J Love.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
Thank you so much, Tiana. I appreciate it. Let's see. Red Phone Video. What up, physical media junkies? What is up, Red Phone? How are you doing? We got Craig S list user 12. Ken, can you please tell us what the S tier is immediately? You mean what did I call it? We'll get into what I called them all. It's not the S tier. I called them all something different. But no, I can't tell you what's on the S tier. I can't give it away. What's Johnny watching? Hey, Red. Let's see. Hey, Ken. Hope you're having a great weekend. Look forward to the stream. Well, thank you for watching, David. What's up, Adrian? What's up, Tiana? Silico88. Hey, everyone. What is going on? We got everybody saying hey to each other. Raymond Malone says, what's a boutique company that no one talks about but should? I mean, we'll get into that when we get into the list, but I mean, there's quite a few. I would say, trying to think of one that nobody talks about. Everybody talks about, I mean, at least in the conversations I'm in, everybody talks about somebody to a degree. I don't think that for the quality that they put out, I don't think that Synapse gets enough love. And yeah, I'll say Synapse. Snaps. Whatever it's called. Hello. What's up, Robzilla? Scream, Scratch Factory, F tier, and QC because everybody's going hard on Scream Factory tonight. Tiana in the house. What's up? Ken got to give TerraVision some love. Yes, TerraVision is on the list. Let me look again. I know I wanted to put them on the list. Yes, they're on there. I almost flipped out though because like 5 minutes before I went live, I was like, "Did I put Second Sight on there?" And I went freaking nuts. I was like, "I hope I put Second Sight on there." And then because I would have to like redo the whole thing. And then I looked and I was like, "Okay, I put them on there." Woo! I could not leave Second Sight off there. All right, let's see. We got Movie Addict Matt. Thank you so much. Just wanted to support the channel. I appreciate that, Movie Addict Matt. Of course, nobody has to donate, but I damn sure appreciate it when you guys do. Show me the love like that. And you know what, Matt? I'm gonna give you a little piece of Al tonight.
She got a great ass, and you got your head all the way up it.
That's some people in this chat. They got their head all the way up Scream Factory's ass. Hey, I would put myself in that category. I am a Scream Factory fan, so you know I'm not going to put them on the last spot. You know I'm not going to do that. Or will I? All right. Scream Factory's F. Everybody hates Scream Factory. I love it. TerraVision picked up Culture Shock. Totally rad. Yeah, I didn't put I'll say this right up front. TerraVision is on there because I see them as more separated because they broke off from Vinegar Syndrome. Culture Shock I know has just broke off from Vinegar Syndrome, but I kind of included Vinegar Syndrome and their partner labels as like one entity. Just because I could not break down like the 20 partner labels that they have. I just haven't dove into enough of their stuff to feel like I can adequately tier rank any of those. So that's kind of lumped in with Vinegar Syndrome, and I would put Culture Shock in there as well, since a lot of their stuff has come out with Vinegar Syndrome. But Culture Shock's on their own, with TerraVision. If they start ramping stuff up, they could have their own category. Hey, Red Phone Video. Really? They're my favorite. I've never had a bad experience. Nice. I feel like it was back in 2022 when I first suggested this video idea to you. Glad you're finally getting around it. Did you suggest that, Manuel? It might have been you that sparked that, because I remember I did want to do this. See, I was doing a lot of tier rankings back in 2022. I don't think I've done one like this entire year. I was doing them for, I think when I was doing my theme months, I think I did a Western tier ranking. I did like 1984. I started like tier ranking their releases every month. But not enough people were watching those, so I just stopped doing them. I lost interest in doing them. And I wanted to do this one for the longest time, and I just haven't got around to it. Screen Factory sucks. It says, Robzilla, I hear you fine. Happy Sunday night to you, Tiana. Everybody can hear me. Shit Factory sucks, says the mayor. I love it. Sound good, Ken. Does anybody have anything else to say about any other label, good or bad? Who do you think should be on top? Who do you think should be on the bottom? Let me know. How you, Ken? How you doing? What's up, Adrian? Loud and clear. D-Rock. If we were talking quality of films, Criterion wins by a mile. It's not even a contest. Marco, hey, we'll get into it. We're going to get into the criteria, because the quality of films definitely is in the criteria, but it's not the entire criteria. Did anyone get scratch discs from Screen Factor the last 2 weeks? Have things improved? No, I mean, I've never had that problem, Craig. To be honest, from my perspective, I've never had it. I'm not going to, discredit anybody that says they did, but I've just never had it. So I can't really speak to it. So coming with scratch disc, Kino Lorber is probably my favorite. Kino Lorber will definitely have a prominent spot. I can guarantee it. We're going to do it now and do it live. Hell yeah. We're doing it live. Fuck it. And now, who was that? Bill O'Reilly, I think. Man, that clip is funny as shit. Getting a ton of scratch discs from them as a late, same for Kino. See, I've never had any problems with Kino. I don't think in general I've gotten scratch discs. I don't think. I've got scratch discs if I bought them from like Half Price Books or Goodwill and I didn't check them out good enough. But never ordering new from anybody. The only issue I have with Kino is the outgassing I had on Spaceballs, and that was before everybody freaked out about the Scream Factory Chuckies that came out last year. And that's what I remember I made a video last year in defense of Scream Factory. I'm like, this is not the first time this has happened. I've seen this from Kino. I've seen this from other studio labels before, because I think a couple of my like Warner Brothers or Universal titles had it. It was not the first time. But yeah. Max Powers here. What's up, Max? Raymond Malone, Welgo USA doesn't get talked about much. They've had some good releases. Welgo, maybe I should have included them, but I actually did not include Welgo. I just don't collect a lot of Welgo, and I do have a few in the collection, and I don't know. I guess I don't see them as a boutique label, but then again, there's a couple on here that maybe others don't see as a boutique label. I did think about putting them on there though. What's up, Brian? I don't have the Screen Factory Blu-ray, so it's nice to catch up with their 4K releases. I agree. Scratch Factory says Original Fuzz. Have you had that problem too, Fuzz? Just received King Kong with Jessica Lange with slip case surprise. Oh, nice. Nice. I got that, I think, in 2021, and because I got it like 2 weeks late, it came late. I never watched it, so I need to watch that one. I've seen the 1932 Kong. I've seen Peter Jackson's Kong. I've seen Kong Skull Island, but I haven't seen the 70s Kong. I love the 32 Kong, though. Criterion and Kino have the best films for my taste. I don't like a lot of horror. Well, yeah, I mean, that's if you don't like horror, then Criterion Kino is definitely your labels, because, I mean, pretty much every other label is, like, flooded with horror, it feels like, besides Criterion and Kino. And maybe a couple others as well. Scream is okay, but overrated. I could do without him, says Eric Kelly. Oh, my goodness. You can do without him, huh? Vincent, partner labels for the win. Yeah, maybe I should have put the partner labels like in their own category. I don't know. I don't know, guys. This was hard to do. I did my best. Vestron is no good because the prices are too high and Disney is number one in all areas. I hope that was a joke, D-Rock. I think you got that backwards. Not saying Vestron's number one, but Lubber rocks. Shout Factory. Okay, so now we're starting to get some love here. Shout Factory good. I like Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, Indicator more. I did put Indicator on there, even though I know nothing about Indicator, but I just thought they were too big of a label to leave off. Kino Lorber for the win. Arrow rocks too. Did you break up each Vinegar Syndrome? I did not, Rob Zilla. See, if I would have really got into it, I could have done like 90 labels. I really could have. There's a lot of stuff out there, guys. There really is. Especially if you start diving into some of the overseas boutique labels. Like there's really a ton. I did not, though. I don't have one imprint title. I do have one on pre-order though. I am getting Bug in October. I did pre-order that. Vinegar Syndrome has great packaging, good transfers, but most of the movies are trash. I'm not gonna say they're all trash. That's always subjective though, right? I've definitely gotten some really good movies from Vinegar Syndrome. I think that Freeway and Freeway 2 are both really good movies. And I think that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, obviously, Sidekicks, Roadhouse, Cloak and Dagger, Dead Heat, Ticks, and Ticks and Invisible Maniac are just really fun. From Beyond, there's a lot of really good movies in Vinegar Syndrome. Thank you, Tiana. Just watched Dawn of the Dead 2004 4K. Next is Evil Dead Rise 4K. Nice. I like all the labels. I love having so many options, so many movies available to own. That's a good way to look at it, David. That is a very positive, good way to look at it. Finish it tonight, Ken. It's Scott Riddle. We're going to finish things. Diabolic is good. I can waiting for pre-order Prey coming out on 4K Blu-ray. Oh yeah, look, I'm saving all my Prey physical media Disney talk for the physical media report tomorrow. I'm not going to get into it tonight. I've got a lot of thoughts and a lot of opinions. I'm saving it for the show tomorrow. I have a love-hate relationship with Dream Factory. Oh, we calling it. Robert's calling it Dream Factory. Scorpion. Yeah, I did not put Scorpion on here. I could lump like Scorpion and Code Red in with Kino, because I think that Kino's their partner labels of Kino, right? Isn't Scorpion and Code Red? I know Code Red is sold on Kino, but pretty sure Scorpion is as well. I think that's what my card player is, isn't it? Let me look real quick. Yep. The card player, the Dario Argento film, that's Scorpion. So yeah, I could, do the same thing with Vinegar Syndrome and kind of lump them in with Kino Lorber. I hate watching a movie on different nights, one setting or nothing. Well, I don't know if you got kids playing View, but it's almost the only way you can watch movies when you got kids and people that are needy and need your attention all the time. Or not even that. It's just, it's just hard. It's difficult to balance everything. It's like if I didn't break up my movie viewing, it'd be really hard for me to get any movies watched at all. If I got to spare 45 minutes, I'm watching 45 minutes of a movie, and then I'm coming back to it later. And I don't really think it affects my viewing experience too much, because there's movies that I come out of absolutely loving, and I've watched them in 2 sittings. So it happens. Let's see. Looking through my Super Chat history, looks like I suggested, and thank you for the $5, by the way, Manuel, suggested the tier list to you in your October 9th, 2022 live stream, 55 minutes in, #receipts. There you go, Manuel. You got me. So that was last October 9th that you suggested it. Well, thank you for that suggestion, Manuel, and thank you for the Super Chat. We got my buddy AJ in here. What's going on, AJ Reacts? How you doing, buddy? It's been a long time no see. I know I DM with you every now and then, but I ain't seen you in my chats in a while, so I appreciate you being here. AJ, I'm pretty sure was in my first ever live stream on this channel, I think, over 2 years ago. Maybe seconds. Can't remember if it was you or D-Ray. Let's see. I hate watching a movie on different nights. Let's see. Those Chucky releases are so cool. They are cool. I love my... look, I know some people feel a certain way about the movies, but these are really nice, and I like having them in my collection. I'll say that. I like having them in my Child's Play 2 and 3 with matching artwork. I wish they would have done different artwork for the first one, but they didn't. It's okay. I'll get over it. Let's see. Scream Factory is tops when it comes to quality of titles. As for quality of effort put into titles, Vinegar Syndrome is second to none. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Jason. And I can't say that you're wrong with that. And that's another thing, again, we'll get into. Hold your phone light to them. You'll see them better. It's, well, I mean, I held them up and I've got the ring light here. So the ring light shown on them. So that's like a phone light. I've got lights all over me, dude. So I could see them. I don't know about best label, but I'm grateful that Arrow True Romance released Criterion Dazed and Confused as well. I love Grindhouse releasing, but they need more stuff. Yeah, they're not on the list. I just don't have enough experience with them. Bought the Alfred Hitchcock 4K collection, but I'm worried about the disc getting scratched because of the bad packaging. Just be very careful when you put them back and you take them out. But I haven't had any issues with that. And I mean, I took them all. I've watched every movie in those sets, and I haven't had any issues with them so far. Why are you holding the disc 2 feet from your face? What do you want me to do? Hold it like this? Get all up in my face? I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. As told by Gonzo, $4.99 super chat. Thank y'all so much for the love tonight. What's up, everybody? Big fan and enjoy your content. What was the first movie you watched in the theater? Mine was D2 The Mighty Ducks Take Care. Oh, I love D2 The Mighty Ducks. And that's one of the many reasons why I despise Disney, because God, it would be so easy and so awesome to release a freaking 3-film 4K box set and some like cool packaging of all the Mighty Ducks movies. So easy, but they don't care, so it won't happen. It pisses me off. But thank you so much, Gonzo. I didn't answer your question. The Little Mermaid is the first movie that I saw in theaters. And I got the 4K Target Digipack right here. And yeah, this is the first movie I saw in theaters. And I loved it. And I've always loved that movie. And the remake was all right. I didn't hate the remake. It was just the most okay live action remake I've ever seen in my life. It was fun though. But for the super chat, let me give you a little owl.
She got a great ass! And you got your head all the way up it!
There you go. Thank you, Gonzo. And Movie Addict Matt with another super chats. $4.99. Thank you, Movie Addict Matt. I would love Scream Shout to release more 4Ks with their hard cases like the Halloween releases. That's the one thing that I think that Scream Factory kind of screwed up on. They were seeing where the market was going with these nice collectible packaged releases from Vinegar Syndrome and Second Sight and even Arrow Video, with their big box set releases. They saw all these other people doing all these nice sets like Criterion Digipacks and stuff. And them starting 4K, they could have, it feels like so easily just done the hard box cases like the Halloweens. And that would have been their standard for the 4K. And again, it could have been limited, not last for too long. And then after that, maybe they could have done a slipcover run and then released them without the slipcovers. But it just feels like it would have been so easy, and it would have helped them compete package-wise with their main competition, which, let's face it, Scream Factory's main competition at this point is Vinegar Syndrome, and I would say Arrow Video and also Second Sight to an extent, even though it's not in the States, it's in the UK. But yeah, I don't get it. It just would have helped them stand out and catch up, and now they're falling behind. All right, where are we at? I might have to move ahead, guys. I don't want to miss anybody, but at the same time, I'll have to get started on this tier ranking eventually. But I appreciate all of y'all in here. I've never had Scratch Screen Factory disc, and now 25 4Ks I purchased. I've only had one off gassing. I'll consider that a win. That is a win. Operative word being label, I guess. Didn't think of that. I like all three. Yeah. Yeah, got them all in there. I actually did put, there's a couple that I put on here because I hear a lot of people talk about them. Hear a lot of people talk them up. Mondo Macabro. Macabro. Is that how you pronounce it? Mondo Macabro. I did put on there because I hear a lot of people talk about it. So I'm going to refer to you all when we get to Mondo Macabro. I have my thoughts, but what's up, Jim Powers? Full Moon is on there. I did put Full Moon on there. I did. Been enjoying these late night streams on Sunday. Thanks for the entertainment. Well, thank you for watching, Hard Copy. I saw you was watching Child's Play with your kids earlier, so that's cool. I respect that. Get starting with Horror Young. Scratches Scuffs typically happen in Steelbook disc for me. Yeah, I've never had that either. The Canadian Queen. I got 157 Arrows, 101 Shout Scream, and 66 Kinos. Awesome. That is badass. Let's see. What is the best version of Army of Darkness to watch? The Scream Factory 4K looks amazing. That's one of their best they've ever done. Amazing. Even though the director's cut's not in 4K, but I think the director's cut is just the regular Blu-ray, but the international cut has a 4K scan, and that's basically the director's cut without the ending. And to be honest, I don't love the director's cut ending to Army of Darkness. I think it's kind of hokey and cheesy, and I'm honestly not a big fan of it. I much prefer the S-Mart ending, which is on the international cut. So the international cut kind of mixes the best of both worlds, in my opinion. But the theatrical cut 4K looks amazing. I highly recommend it. Oh, let's see. And Brian Dickerson with another super chat. Thank you all so much. What is the greatest 4K Blu-ray boutique label disc that you own? For some reason, when that question pops up, there's probably better ones that have come out, but I always go back to this one. And I talked about it recently, but this Django from Arrow Video literally blew my mind when I watched it. It looked so incredible. It's got an extra film on it for a special feature. It's got tons of other great special features. The movie's freaking awesome. This is what pretty much started my love for spaghetti westerns because I love this movie. So the Django 4K from Arrow Video is amazing. And I would also have to talk about this one because I love this movie, and this release from Synapse was amazing. Suspiria on 4K just looks freaking incredible. And yeah, great special features on this, even though most of them were the same ones the Blu-ray had, but I never owned the Blu-ray. This is the first, not the first Suspiria Blu-ray I bought. I bought a Korean import for some reason when I bought Suspiria for the first time. And the artwork is so awesome. And I love the fact that I now have the Tenebrae artwork to match it, and I got them together. I just love it. So Suspiria is incredible. Django from Arrow. Those are two off the top of my head. Oh, and Drive. I'm giving you 3. You donated. I'm going to give you 3. Drive from Second Sight is one of the best releases I've ever seen. Picture quality wise, special features, packaging. One of the best. All right. Let's see. Umbrella is on there. All right, guys. What's going on, Culture Trini? Code Red and Blue Underground still around. Blue Underground's on my list. Code Red, I think they still make stuff. It's very sporadic. Let's see. Scream Factory puts out great movies. I supported them since they came out, but this last year's with QC has been garbage. See, I will say that 2022 was awful for them. It felt like everything they had coming out had issues with it. I think that 2023 has been pretty, and I'm not basing this solely on 2023, but a lot of it's going to be based around like where they're at now. And I think that Scream Factory has had a solid 2023. I don't, besides like if you don't like all the 4K re-releases, you might not be happy with it. But like quality wise, they've had some really great stuff come out this year. And I haven't really heard about a ton of QC problems or anything. Yeah, they started charging $60 extra for lobby cards, but you don't have to buy those lobby cards. So I think that 2023, and they've done some good like new stuff this year too. Dead Silence was a solid release with some good special features, and The Haunting of Julia was a good release, and yeah, they've done some good stuff this year. So I don't think they've had a bad year at all. I think most of your problems come from 2022. Kino's awesome. I own over 400 titles. Nice. In the process of starting up a new label for home media. You're in the process, Gary? That would be freaking awesome. Let me know when you get it started. I will support it. Second Sight's limited editions deserve S tier, but their regular releases are very bare bones. Yeah, I haven't gotten. Would you consider May and Frontiers regular releases? Because I haven't gotten into those yet. Yeah, Blue Underground's got a couple of stuff on the horizon. They just don't do a lot of new stuff. All the stuff they're doing right now is just putting their old Blu-rays out on 4K. Yeah. Which if they don't get their shit together, they will be gone. See, I just haven't had problems with Kino. What's going on, Wave? Indicator, Radiance, top tier. They put out the best quality transfers. All of those are on the list. Cohen Media and Screen Archives, great boutique labels. Yeah, see, they're not on the list. I'm not as familiar with those. I got 30 labels on the list. Kino's Warner Library System with catalog titles. Yeah, and I'm really excited about their Kino Cult line they just announced. That's really cool. Raven Banner, I did not put on there. I know they've had some good releases. I just don't know too much about them. Yeah, I feel like I've seen him say that like for like the past 2 years. But look, we'll see. I've got stuff to say about it for sure. Peanut Trop, what's up, dude? Watching you got me into collecting physical media this year. Just wanted to stop by and say thanks, and your content is awesome. Umbrella Entertainment rocks. Well, thank you, Peanut Trop. I appreciate that. And speaking of the Australian labels, just so you guys know, this Friday, World's Biggest Collectors, I am going to have an Australian collector on the show, and we're going to talk about the Disney situation. His channel name is Collector Creations. Really awesome guy, and it was a great conversation, so I cannot wait for you guys to watch that episode. What's up, Kevin? How are you doing? First-time viewer. Have you hit the subscribe button yet? It's down there. I do all kinds of stuff here around physical media. Hit the subscribe. Let's see. Yep, somebody did call out the Suspiria. How do you know I got A24 on here, Culture? I do have A24 on here just because of their website exclusives. Yeah, you could. Again, it's just another one I don't have a lot of experience with. What's up, Smirk? Robert Cruz, I don't trust Severn after I pre-ordered the Changeling from him and they jacked it up. Yeah, Severn's on the list. My Good Bag Ugly is dripping with grease. Yeah, it came out around the time they were doing the greasy releases. All right, guys. Like I said, I can't get to everybody. I appreciate everybody being here. There's 215 people in right now. Holy crap! Hit the like button. What? How many likes are we up to right now? I'm not starting until we have freaking 100 likes. I'm greedy. I'm a greedy bastard. But 216, we should have 100, no problem. 97. I need 3 more likes. Preferably, let's get up to 120, and then I'll start. Everybody like. If you're in here, hit the like button. I know about 5 of you have probably hit the dislike button, but everybody else hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Some people are probably like, you can hit a dislike button? And they hit it immediately. Yeah, I'll try to. But like I said, I'm super busy at the end of the year, so it will not be at the end of the year. It will be probably February before I do something like that. Let's see. I just got into Mondo films lately. Your thoughts on them? Mondo Macabro. I have no thoughts on them. I have one release of theirs in my collection, and I have not watched it, but it is in my collection. Let's see. I already answered that, Brian, but I appreciate the chat. Jowl, you're lucky then to have that one. AJ says, I love how Era puts out the boxes like RoboCop, American Wolf in London, and Donnie Darko. Yeah, that Donnie Darko release really was beautiful. Really was beautiful. I just wish I loved the movie more. I didn't love the movie, but I feel like this is one that, because it was a first time watch, I need to watch it again and maybe I'll appreciate it more. But god damn, this is a great box. It's a great box set, great artwork. Great release by Arrow. But even that one, I think there was issues with that one, wasn't there? Wasn't there like a frame rate issue on the theatrical cut or something? What's up, Body Count Rising? What's up, Spicy 4K Action? What's up, Bobby Blue? Everybody, make sure tomorrow night, 9 p.m. There's a movie collection battle on 4K D-Ray's channel, and Bob's Blu-rays is going up against Nick at Movie AV Impulse. Go check it out. Bob's gonna take him down. Take him down good. It's going down tomorrow night. I have faith in you, Bob. You can do it. Yeah, they're trying to steal Vinegar Syndrome's audience a little bit with that one. I feel like. Let's see. I do remember it, but I never collected for them. 20th Century Titles. You never see the light of day anytime soon. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't even want to get into that. God. So many movies are long for me to carve out time to watch in one sitting, so I just treat it like a mini series. Don't mind breaking it up. Yeah, man, it's like life gets busy, when you get older, especially with kids and work. And I've got this channel, and this channel is almost like a second job at this point. I'm putting out stuff every day, and I got my real job. I got 2 kids, wife, and it's hard to put aside time to watch movies. I try to watch 5 or 6 films every single week. Let's see. Drunk Link, looking forward to this. Unearthed films did not make the cut. They probably should have. I know that they're a pretty consistent label, but again, I knew I'd forget something. I actually think Criterion's had a really good year, especially with those announcements for November, which we'll go over again tomorrow. No, I'm not the co-host tomorrow, Emmett. I got the live stream with my wife tomorrow night on our channel, so I won't be able to do it. Yeah, they did, Keaton. All right, let's keep going down. What's up, Mama Blu-ray? Yeah, well, I'll be discussing that tomorrow as well. I did put Vestron on the list. I consider them boutique. I know it's, from Lionsgate. Lionsgate puts them out, but the way I see it, Lionsgate created their own boutique label. So it's under the Lionsgate banner, just like Paramount Presents is under Paramount and Warner Archives under Warner, but they're kind of treated as their own thing. And it's boutique, if you ask me. I mean, Vestron has new special features on their stuff, and there's actual, I'm pretty sure there's different people that work on those releases than the regular Lionsgate releases. So there's they have their own team that's putting them out. Newly commissioned artwork. Like if Vestron's not a boutique label, I don't know what is, because they do everything that all the other boutique labels do. Well, they do everything but charge you out the ass for their releases. That's what they do differently. Nice, man. Yeah, I mean, I put out Arrow content. Now I'll put out like an Arrow recommendation video sometimes, and I'll be like, these are all titles everybody's heard of. I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I forget sometimes that there's some people that's just getting into this, and they may not, know about all this stuff that I feel like I've talked about like 80,000 times on this channel. So I appreciate you saying that, because it reminds me why I do those kind of videos. All right. I knew you thumbs down at culture. Yes, son of a gun. 20, make sure you thought that. Thank you, Tiana. Thank you. Ooh, I like that steelbook, Jess. I'm definitely going to get that one. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I do plan to get it. You're just in time, Theo, Mike, because we are getting ready to begin. Are you guys ready? I'm going to bring it up. The boutique label tier ranking. Let me do my different background. I'm going to work myself into the right position. That sounded a little dirty. And here we are. This is it, guys. These are the 30 labels that are on the boutique tier list. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the list? So on this ranking, we have 101 Films, which I almost didn't put on the list because, again, it's another label I'm not too familiar with, but they have done some good stuff. We have 88 Films. We have A24, who I'm not factoring A24's Lionsgate releases in. I'm not factoring those in. Not factoring those in. I'm just factoring in the site exclusives, the one that honestly I'm not a big fan of. And I already see somebody, RLJE, really? I did put RLJE on there. For some reason in my mind, see, on my shelf, I put RLJ. That's the one thing that I was kind of iffy on. For some reason on my shelf, I put RLJE on its own shelf because all the spines line up with each other. And they do, I know they have like they license movies. I mean, they have a deal with Shudder, primarily, but they license their films to put out. And they also do other films as well. So I kind of consider them boutique. And I've seen them do stuff before. They don't do it all the time. That is very boutique. They've had reversible artwork. They've had embossed slipcovers. And all their slipcovers like line up on the shelves. They all have similar spines. Again, this one was very iffy, and I'm going to have a couple of those in here. But yeah, like I said, it was kind of hard to do. Anyway, Arrow Video obviously is on here. Cauldron is on here. Criterion, obviously. Eureka, I put on here. Full Moon Features, Scream Factory, Imprints, Indicator, Kino Lorber, Mill Creek, which I feel like some may have an issue with that as well. Mondo Macabro, MVD Rewind Collection, but really that's anything MVD could fall into there, but primarily Rewind. But they also have MVD Visual and MVD Marquee, which I could just lump all in with that. Paramount Presents, Radiance, RLJE, Vinegar Syndrome, Shout Studios, which I did separate from Scream Factory. Blue Underground, Visual Vengeance. That was a last minute pick. And I put that on there because I just got a couple Visual Vengeance releases in. I got The Abomination. So I'll be talking about these soon. And they definitely do some interesting work. So I put them on there. Synapse, Second Sight, Severance, Studio Canal, TerraVision, Umbrella, Vestron Video, Warner Archive. So there's definitely stuff that I left off that I'm sure some people's going to be upset that I left off. But like I said, I couldn't include everything. Maybe as I become more familiar with some of the other stuff that's out there, I'll be able to do a better list. Like I said, some of the stuff I put on there just for you guys because some of this stuff I'm not very familiar with. So I'm hoping you guys can help me. Now, here's the criteria, and let me go over my tiers real quick. So the S tier, quote unquote, is best of the best. That's the top tier. Next tier is just solid label, just an all around solid, good boutique label. The third tier is, they got some good stuff. They're not all bangers, but there's some good stuff in there. The fourth is what I'm calling word of mouth, a kind of cult boutique label that only if you're just so steeped in this stuff do you really know about? And word of mouth, what that means is to know about this label, they may be great, but you have to hear people really hype and talk about these titles. So I put that word of mouth is kind of the fourth one down. They could have some great stuff, but they don't put out enough stuff to stay relevant for long enough for it to really catch on. And then the last tier is spend your money wisely with this one. You may get something great, but more often than not, you're not going to get something great. So that's, and I didn't do, I'll be honest with you, I didn't do a trash tier or garbage tier or whatever, because I don't really think any of the labels are garbage. Not completely garbage. I think they all have redeeming qualities to them. So I didn't want to trash on any labels or anything. So I didn't do that. You know, I'm sure that there's tons of you all that would have loved for me to throw Scream Factory in the garbage on the bottom. But if you guys know my channel, you know I'm not going to do that. I love Scream Factory. I get excited for their announcements. I review a ton of their stuff. I buy a ton of their stuff. You know I'm not going to put them in the garbage. Some of you all might, but I'm not going to do it. So that's the list. And here's my criteria. And then I'll get back in the chat in a little bit before we start. Like I said, give me your all's feedback as we go. I'm going to definitely lean on you all a little bit for help. 88 Films is in there, culture. Open up them eyes. It's a second one. Yeah, my criteria. I've got 5 criteria. I could probably have 6. But I've got 5 criteria right now wrote down. Number 1 is output. How much are they putting out? Again, I know it's not always about quantity. You know, it's about quality, which we'll get to in a second. But if you're not putting stuff out, if you're not getting yourself in that conversation, then how can you be considered among the best? And again, that doesn't mean you have to release 30 titles a month, but a consistent schedule needs to be happening. You know, 1 a month, 2 every 2 months, you know, something like that. There just has to be some kind of consistency. Your name needs to be brought up in the conversation more than once every 6 or 7 months. So how much are you putting out? You know, there's some labels that are throwing out like 30, 40 titles a month. Are they all great? No. But they're putting a lot of stuff out. They're doing a lot of good work, because at the end of the day, they're bringing a lot of these forgotten films to the forefront and giving them attention and, you know, allowing them to be discovered. So that work has to be credited, right? So how much are they putting out? Output's definitely criteria. Quality, which means a number of things. This is my number 2, quality. How good's the transfer? How good's the audio? How good's the packaging? What about the special features? All that's included under quality. Number 3 would be movie selection, the curation. What types of movies are you putting out? And again, that's very subjective, right? Somebody could say one movie's great. Somebody could say it's trash. But what are the types of movies? I guess how I would go about it is I always hate the mainstream term, because even the word mainstream is kind of subjective, right? Who decides what's mainstream and who decides what's cult? Is it the box office, how well it did in the theater? How many downloads does it have on VOD? How many people stream it? How popular it is, right? There are clear, cut and dry ways to gauge that for sure. But there is stuff that is more underground, that are great films, that some people would say aren't enough underground, and would say that those are mainstream. So I think that there's a line that gets kind of blurry when it comes to what's mainstream and what's more cult. But at the end of the day, who's putting out the big titles that a lot of people have heard of, that get a lot of people excited? I think that's what goes into movie selection, because quality of movie is always subjective. everybody says Vinegar Syndrome puts out trash. Not everybody, but some people say Vinegar Syndrome puts out trash. What's some people's trash is other people's treasure. Some people love those films. So movie selection, that's my number 3. Number 4, how good are the sales? I put that in there. You know, there's some boutiques that just deliver some of the best sales, and I think we all know who I'm talking about. There's some boutiques that do some really good sales, you know, that allow us to pick up multiple titles, you know, at once and get to discover more of their films without breaking the bank. I think that's important. And some companies will be like, everything's on sale, and it's like $1 off or something. So I did factor that in a little bit. How fun is the experience of collecting for them? How excited are you getting for the announcements? How excited are you getting for the titles that are coming out? How fun is it to collect, to line them up on your shelf, to look at them, to pick them off your shelf, to watch them? How's the overall experience of collecting for this label? So I think that's a factor as well. But I don't know. What do you all think? Those are my criteria. Can you all think of any other criteria that I left out? There's 246 people in here. Hit the like button if you haven't. UHG is expensive, but their collector sets are off the chain. Yeah. Yeah, I mean they do some good special features every now and then. You know, recently on their Rewind stuff, they've been having extra commentaries and stuff and audio upgrades. No, I'm not as familiar with Echo Bridge, John. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I said. It's all subjective. Some people love those SOV films. Yes, John Public. If this was a studio tier list, which I may do at some point, spoiler alert, I would put Disney in the garbage. Despite the Prey release, they would still go in the trash for me. Twilight Time, they're not around anymore, right? Spend your money wisely or get monthly audit tier. Yeah. Yeah, somebody loves it. Even though at a certain point it does feel like with the SOV stuff, all right, yeah, we're considering that a film. It's lost art, right? It's being restored. But couldn't something I filmed in my backyard when I was 12 on a camcorder, if there was a story to it, if I filmed like a narrative, had characters and stuff, couldn't that be considered like a lost SOV film if it was like an hour or something? And so it gets the SOV stuff gets a little tough for me in that respect, because it does feel like something that anybody could have made, even though I know that there are some higher end ones that do have some artistry to them. I don't know. Switching to the TV. Well, thank you, Culture. The dude who loves movies is here. What's up, everyone? Don't forget the roundhouse kick, that like button for cool guy Kenny. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Putting the moves on me, says Theo Might. Yeah, I know, right? Vinegar Syndrome, big in 2023. Yeah, like I said, this isn't all based on 2023. It's all based on, you know, where they're at now, where they've been in the past couple of years, their trajectory, you know, a lot of different things. Ordered a limited edition, and I'm very happy with it. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching and reviewing soon because I got another copy from Synapse. So the one I bought myself, and then Synapse actually sent me one recently. So this one, I always forget I'm down here. Let me make myself a little bit bigger. So this one I bought from Cauldron. And then I didn't even know they were sending this, but they sent me a 4K copy in the latest MVD haul that I got. So I will be reviewing this soon on the channel. And I'll probably be doing a giveaway for that Cauldron Film City of the Living Dead 4K at some point, because I don't need 2 copies. All right, so I'm gonna get Sidekicks on Black Friday. It's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's damn it, Johnny. You know what? Cost should absolutely be a factor. That could kind of, so we can lump cost into how good are the sales. I don't know why I just didn't put cost and then sales in the same category, but cost should definitely be a factor. So yeah, we'll lump that into the 4th category, cost and sales, because those two kind of go hand in hand. All right. Let's see. What's up, Deadly Spooky? All right, let's yeah, my email you should be able to get to, and I thought I had a link below, but you should be able to get to it on my Instagram. I think it's a link to my Instagram account. Lionheart Double Impact, nice. Yeah, they put out some good stuff. All right, are you guys ready to get into this? Keep talking amongst yourselves. I may be doing some polls tonight, but I guess we're gonna start from the top. I don't think I'm gonna move stuff around. Should I move stuff around? Let's start with 101 Films. 101 Films. I'm gonna be honest, besides Ghostwatch, I don't know what they've done the past few years. So I'm going to check Bluray.com. They've got Ghostwatch coming out this month. So I want to put Ghostwatch and word of mouth. But again, let me know what you all think. With that. And yeah, 101 Films, I just I'm looking back and I'm just not seeing much. So their output's very low. They're not doing a ton of stuff. They did a Left Behind film in March with Kevin Sorbo. Which, hey, I'm a fan of Call the Conqueror, but I'm just not seeing a lot for this year, and I'm not seeing a lot for last year. Again, they did that Ghostwatch, and I'm pretty sure. Don't they have the Nolan, The Following coming out? Isn't that 101 Films? And I think that's coming out in October. So they got something else coming out. But their output's very low. But what I will say for 101 Films is that Ghostwatch box set, when it came out, was very inexpensive. I think it was like $20 for a full box set. So on that level, they do pretty good. Well, Mayor, I don't need 2 copies of the same movie when one of the copies, there's nothing special about it. There's no slipcover, no nothing. So I don't need that. It's just a regular standard 4K. So I'll part with that. But if there's like extra packaging, I probably couldn't part with that. So yeah, 101 Films. See, we got people that's never heard of 101 Films. They got promising stuff. I'm not saying they're not good. I mean, I could put them in some good stuff, but I just don't think they have enough to get them up to that tier. So I'm going to keep them down in word of mouth for right now. If somebody wants to make a big fuss about it, you can. Maybe I'll move them up. The stuff that they release is good. I haven't heard anything bad about it. But yeah, I think word of mouth is a good spot for them. 88 films. Again, I've got some 88 films in my collection. They released that really nice In the Line of Fire box set this year. And they've done a lot of good kung fu stuff. But I've heard some negativity towards them. Can anybody speak to that? I think I've watched one release from theirs. They did the Species collection. I mean, they've done some cool stuff. I'm pretty sure they did the I Know What You Did Last Summer set. They did the Urban Legends set. So their output's pretty consistent. I feel like they were way more consistent last year than this year. They did that Drive 4K, I think, last year, which was pretty cool. So consistency-wise, I think they're a good label. But again, it's one I don't think a lot of people have really heard of. And I think it's more of kind of a underground cult label. So I'm leaning towards word of mouth as well, even though their output is definitely more than 101 films. But you know, I could put them in some good stuff as well, since they have put out some good stuff. Let me know what you guys think. What's up, horror dude? Yeah, Arrow Releases has the best smell. I guess I could put smell as a criteria as well. Yeah, 101 does have following and memento sets. I mean, they're not out yet, but those sets look freaking awesome. And it looks like they put a lot of work into them. So if they're a label that just wants to put out a couple releases a year, but they're bangers, you know, you can't really fault them too much for that. But again, I'm not saying anything bad about them. I just think they're kind of on the lower end. Word of mouth is a good spot. Let's see. Contention between you and Basement Blues. What, he's a big 101 fan. Is that what you're saying? Could be. Could be. Yeah, I could have counted them as one label, Levi. I decided to split them up though. Because, you know, Scream Factory, and Shout Studios is Shout Studios. They're really kind of separate. Oh, was that a good set, horror dude? Terminator 3. Jesus. Why do you want Terminator 3 before the damn first one? Well, Gus, maybe. Yeah. 4 or 5 101 films. All right. Well, we'll keep I think what 88 Films has enough stuff. And they do a lot for the, you know, the Kung Fu audience, which Kung Fu's been getting a ton of love this year. That I am good with putting 88 Films in some good stuff. So I will keep them in there for right now. And let's go ahead and move on to A24. You guys tell me, because the only release I got from them was Lamb. And from what I remember, there wasn't a ton of new special features in that. And they did The Lighthouse recently, and it didn't have as many special features as the Arrow video release did. And I'm not a fan of their packaging at all. And I honestly think their stuff's a little overpriced for what it is. Like that Lamb packaging, like it's not even in a nice box set. Like it's just paper, just like regular, like slipcover paper. I mean, it felt thinner than like the Criterion Digipacks. So I'll be honest, A24, I'm not saying their stuff's bad. I just don't have a ton of experience with them. I would honestly put those in the spend money wisely camp because I think that you may get on there and drop $50, $60 and not really understand what you're getting until you get it. And those little booklets, like, they're not practical for your shelf. And they're nice. At least they look nice. But they're not it's not a very practical release. So I'm just not a big fan of A24. It's cool that they're doing their own stuff. It really is. But I'm not a massive fan of it, if I'm being honest. So that's where I'm putting it. And that's kind of final for me. You all could say something about it, but it's not open for discussion. They're in spend money wisely. No, I'm just joking. If you all want to make a hubbub about it, I may move them up to some good stuff, word of mouth. Just let me know. They did do Burial Ground recently. That looked like a really cool release. A lot of people said some good stuff about it. So they said some good stuff about it. So I put it in some good stuff. I think I got it where it needs to be. Yeah. What do y'all think about A24? It's Blu-ray, Theomite. I don't think 101's done 4K yet. A24, some good stuff. Audio, video. Yeah, films themselves. Yeah, but I'm not talking about A24 as a company. I'm just talking about what they're putting out on their website. And they're not doing the stuff on their website. They're not doing everything that they put out through the Lionsgate, through that Lionsgate's distributed. Even people in the A24 Facebook group I'm in don't even know about their special edition releases. A lot of, oh, where'd you get that edition of Midsummer's replies? So you're saying they're just not that well known. All right, I wanted to put them in spend money wisely because I think they're a little overpriced. I spent like $40 on that Lamb release, and it was nothing to write home to mom about. And I know that their big digipacks are more, but I'll put them in word of mouth. I have no problem doing that. All right, now we move on to Arrow Video. Woo! Arrow. What do we do with you? You know what? Arrow Video did not even make my top 10 last year. Did not even make my top 10 last year. Because I thought they had a very weak 2022. Their first half to 2022 was solid. But the last half is very weak. But it kind of feels like they were saving themselves for 2023 because damn, they've been knocking it out of the park this year. And they've got my two most anticipated releases of this fall with the Psycho and Hellraiser box sets. Top two. Both pre-ordered. I'm so excited for them. The of course, Empire of Scream set. This can you guys see me still? No, I keep covering myself up. This Blood Money box set right here. I've watched all 4 of these movies, and they are all 4 awesome. I love that box set. They've done a lot of good stuff this year. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Weird Science 4K. I got a lot of heat for that, I feel like. But I think they've been doing this Lucas Moodysson collection. I haven't watched the films in it, but it's such a nice box set. And Last Starfighter was really good. Waterworld on 4K looked amazing. So they've Mallrats, on 4K was pretty good. They've had a solid year, been knocking it out of the park. But I'm really excited for what they got coming for sure. Last House on the Left. So their packaging's always been great. They do have some issues from time to time. I'm very conflicted with this one. My heart wants to put Arrow Video in best of the best, but they've done a lot of kung fu stuff this year as well, a ton of it. And I thought that they've had a couple real solid releases, kind of under the radar releases, like Dumb Witch Horror was a really solid movie. Black Sunday was a really good movie. The Lighthouse. I forgot about this, but the Lighthouse 4K was an amazing release. One of their best. Fear and Loathing, I haven't checked that one out yet. The Lady Whirlwind set was really good. The Vagrants with Bill Paxton was a cool release. So, yeah, this one, I got to know what you guys think. Because I want to put Arrow in best of the best, but I feel like I'm being biased if I do that. Because they're also doing weird things with their announcements and how they're showing their packaging, and they're misleading a lot of people, I feel like, on purpose, and making it look like a lot of their stuff is in these big box sets, and they're not. So they've kind of been slacking on the big box set releases this year, which is kind of what they're known for, and people get excited about for them. Like last year, felt like they had quite a few more. But they've had some good stuff overseas. I know Late Naked Lunch came out this year, 4K. So there's some solid stuff for sure. The Bruce Lee box set, but there was a debacle with that as well. Came damaged. Can you blame that on Arrow, or was that the distribution place? Zavi. Oh, it's a tough one. Wave says Arrow is best of the best. Frightful says best of the best. Well, if I can do this without my computer freezing up on me, I will put up a poll. And I will have you all vote in the poll. Can I still do polls? It's been so long since I've done a poll. All right, let's start a poll. I'm just going to put Arrow Video ? And then best of the best and solid label. Like I said, I was going to need you all tonight. So vote in the poll. And as for while I'm waiting for you all to vote, let's talk about Cauldron. I've got them up in best of the best right now. Let's pull them down to solid label. Cauldron, I think, is a word of mouth label. They're definitely putting out some cool stuff. Their consistency's not great. I've heard great things about City of the Living Dead and a couple of their other releases that they put out this year, some of their Blu-ray releases, but this to me is a word of mouth label. Their consistency is just not as good as some of the other ones. Again, I'm not talking down about them or anything, but that's the word of mouth label. Criterion, I'm gonna slide down a little bit. We'll get to them. I'm gonna put them down here. I don't want to talk about too many big dogs at once. Let's talk about Eureka a little bit. Eureka is another label that I've got one Eureka in my collection. But they announced some really cool stuff coming later this year with that what was that film? What was that? Touch of Evil box set and the Valley Girl box set. Those look amazing. And I know that they've done some other good stuff this year. Let me switch this to the UK and see if I can see some other stuff they've done. But let's see. Manuel said, don't let the chat alter my list. It's your list. No, I'm going to let that. Look, you do this live. That's part of the fun of going live. Again, I appreciate the super chat, Manuel. That's part of the fun of going live, and doing this live is because I get to engage with you all. And I do want you all to have a little bit of an input. At the end of the day, if I feel strongly about something, I'm going to override it, right? Because again, it is my list. But if I'm kind of iffy and I'm one way or the other, I will revert to you all for sure. Let's see what you guys think. So as of right now, it's only been up for 2 minutes, but it looks like I'm going to go ahead and close it out because it looks like landslide, 71% wants Arrow Video and best of the best. And you know what? It's hard to argue that, Arrow Video, Sure, they've got some stumbles, but damn, they do some good stuff. They really do. And I don't mean, put that in good stuff, but their releases are awesome. I think their curation is really great. I think they've stepped it up this year. And based on the stuff they got coming, like, I'm so excited. I get so excited when I think their December announcements are this Friday. If I'm not mistaken, which is crazy. We're getting ready to it's November. November announcements is this Friday. I was gonna say it's crazy if we're already getting towards December announcements. Jeez. But yeah, I'm so excited to see what they got for November, see if they can keep this momentum going into the fall or into the winter and the end of 2023. And yeah, they've got some great stuff coming. They definitely had some stuff up their sleeve, I think, in 2022. They just, had to get it all together, get all their ducks in a row before they could start announcing it. I always says I love Cauldron films, but admittedly their releases are all over in focused genre and era. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Eureka because I know in the UK they're definitely a bigger deal. I don't feel like they got the output right now though, so I'm gonna slap Eureka and word of mouth. You all may not agree with that, but that's just how I see it. All right, I'm going to turn off Bluray.com. I'm not even going to look. Word of mouth, Eureka. Sorry, guys. Full Moon Features is the very definition of spend your money wisely. I feel like. Oh, God. Full Moon Features. I will say this about Full Moon. I actually spent quite a bit of money with Full Moon this year. At the beginning of the year, they did that Full Moon sale, and I bought the trunk, which was incredible. The Puppet Master trunk. You guys want to see it again? I got it down here on the floor. I finally got this thing because I was such a big fan of Puppet Master when I was a kid. And I was just like, I think this went down to, what did this go down to? I think it was like $120 or something. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pull the freaking trigger on this damn thing. And I bought it. And it's nice. And I love it. And it's got 12 Puppet Master movies in it. 6 of them I'll probably never watch because I've heard garbage things about them. But 6 of them I'll definitely watch. I'll definitely watch the first 5 because I love those. But I got that set. And this year for Full Moon, I mean, they've done some little, cult titles here and there. They did Puppet Master 3 on 4K, which really looked good. That was a really good 4K from them. But, they're kind of all over the place with their consistency, and their movies don't exactly light the world on fire. A lot of the stuff I got from them this year was just old stuff I remember watching when I was a kid, like the Subspecies films and the Demonic Toys. And so I just grabbed those because I used to love those movies when I was a kid, so I got them now. So Full Moon, spend your money wisely. I'm pretty firm on that. I think that's it's a good spot because you never know what you're going to get with Full Moon. Definitely watch some recommendation videos for Full Moon. Do not buy the Ginger Dead Man or the Evil Bong movies. I'm sure there's an audience for those, but yeah, Full Moon is spend money wisely. All right. So we got Arrow and Best of the Best. We decided on that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Did that come out this year, Craig? It is what you think is the best of the best. Well, I'm going to see. Culture Trini says Eureka's a solid label. They're like budget criterion. See, yeah, I feel like they're just a much bigger deal in the UK. Look, I'm willing to move Eureka into some good stuff with 88 films. I can't get them off the solid label because I'm just not as familiar with them. But those 2 releases, I don't think I've ordered it yet. I thought I did though, but maybe not. I'll have to go back and check, but I want to get that Valley Girl set. Hopefully it's not sold out yet. I want to get that set. All right, let's talk about Imprint. I want to put Imprint, even though I have no experience with Imprint whatsoever. I want to at least give Imprint solid label because what I've seen them do in like the past 3 years, I think they put out like 250 to 300 titles by now or something. It's like 6 or 7 releases every month. They've been doing all kinds of these incredible looking box sets this year that I just haven't got because it's just too expensive and I can't afford to spend money on all these labels every single month. And their releases, I'm not in love with the packaging of the Imprint stuff. I have felt a couple of their releases before. They're very lightweight and the packaging just doesn't seem super sturdy, but they look nice. Like you line them up all together on the shelf, they look really nice. And the movie curation, like the movie selection that they got all kinds of great films that they've curated in that line. And I think it's a super solid label, even not experiencing one of them. Just from the looks of it and from the excitement that people have to collect for it, it's a solid label. Again, without the personal experience, I cannot get it the best of the best, but I think Imprint is doing great stuff and they're super consistent. And I haven't really heard anything bad about the quality. I will say they haven't yet made the jump into 4K, I don't think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've had a 4K release yet. But I'm sure that their transfers are great, and I need to get some more stuff from them. I wanted to get Stir of Echoes not too long ago, but I didn't get that one. I wanted the I really almost got that Walter Hill set, but as soon as I went to the site to get it, all gone. That thing went quick, so I didn't get a chance to get the Walter Hill set. But yeah, I need to definitely make it a priority to try to get more of their stuff and collect for them. But if anybody has any issue with me putting Imprint solid label, I think that they just for their output alone and their movie selection, curation, and just how good they look on people's shelves. I think it deserves the solid label spot, in my opinion. All right, and I am. Again, another one I don't have a ton of experience with. I only have one title, and it's one that somebody sent to me. And that is The Shiver of the Vampires. Right here. And I know Indicator does a lot of good stuff. I see a lot of people talking about them. A lot of people collecting for them. But again, it's just one I don't have a ton of experience with. And to be honest, I'm not super in love with, I mean, their packaging's nice, but it's, I don't know. I just don't like the look of them. I don't know how to explain it. Just like the solid color with a little bit of artwork sprinkled on them. They're not all white, but some of them are like yellow and green and black. And I don't know. Something about it. So I can't get it to solid label, but I will definitely put Indicator in some good stuff. Because there is some good stuff. And I know if I was into it way more, maybe I would move it up to solid label. Let's see. Put Cauldron and spend money wisely. Maybe. What'd I do, Culture? Full Moon is utter garbage. They got some good stuff. I don't have Cape Light on here. I didn't put any German stuff because, again, I've got no experience. Imprint is the best of the best. See, if I was more into the label, I might be on board for it. But I put them in solid label. They're a solid label. No RLJE, huh? Imprint some good stuff. Imprint is best of the best. Imprint is very solid. Wanting to pull the trigger on the Arrow 4K sets of Psycho and Hellraiser, but is it smarter to wait for the US release? That's if they're going to do a US release, Vin, because I don't know if maybe they will, but I I think the Psycho, I think if they were going to release it in the US, they would have done it with the Psychos at least. I think that maybe Scream Factory still has the rights to them, and maybe they'll put out. I don't think Scream ever had 4, did they? Did they just have 2 and 3, or did they have 4 also? It's possible Scream Factory does 2 and 3 in 4K, and maybe that's why they couldn't bring it over here. And with the Hellraisers, I don't know. I just don't know why would they would do it UK exclusive if they could do it over here. I feel like that's a rights issue and somebody else has the rights to them. So I would just, because it's 4K and they're all in 4K, I would just grab them from the UK. But I don't know if the Hellraiser set's still available. If I'm being honest, I think that thing went out of stock. But definitely check on Psycho, check Diabolic Orbit. It's not hard to import at all. Like, you don't have to pay all the insane import fees. Just get on one of the Grindhouse, Diabolic, Orbit sites and pre-order it there. Imprint's definitely a solid label. Some good stuff for Jason. See, Imprint's all over the place. I think Imprint is one of the best boutique labels as well. Imprint, some good stuff. Let's see how Choma's doing with it. Yeah, I forgot to put Choma on this list. They've been so dormant forever. Imprint is solid to me. Imprint has 2 4K, I think. Yes, I do. I represent you, Culture. I'm sorry. You got to get up and start your own YouTube channel if you want me to stop representing you. Till then, I represent you. Sorry, man. You got to start the Culture Army. I'm just joking. Yeah, it's I get it, you know. I get it. No, they haven't released T3 on 4K. Maybe that'll be their first 4K release. Maybe Terminator 3 will be the first Imprint 4K release. Oh, shit. Oh, they did. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah. Nice way. Indicator is very solid. I'll go with solid for Indicator. You returned yours? Oh, did you just now get them, Vin? Nice. I heard that Hellraiser sold out, so it's nice to know it's still in stock. So everybody go grab it if you haven't yet. All right, let's jump into another heavy hitter. And I don't know if this is going to be controversial, but Kino Lorber to me goes straight to best of the best. And I don't even think that's really up for debate. As far as their output, outstanding. I mean, it's like 20 to 30 titles every single month. And it's not just shit. You know, they're putting a lot of great films from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s out, giving them new Blu-ray transfers. Their 4Ks that they're putting out, they're putting at least like 2 or 3 of those out a month. They're announcing stuff way ahead of the time, keeping people excited for what they're doing. And they're just super engaged, it feels like. And their output is second to none. Their movie curation is second to none. Quality, as far as the actual like transfers, audio quality, like you can't beat them. Like I think Kino Lorber 4Ks just look like some of the best. They're freaking awesome. Everything I've seen from them this year looks amazing on 4K. Now they're doing really cool stuff with that Kino Cult line, and I'm really interested to see where that goes. They're kind of stepping on Vinegar Syndrome's toes a little bit there, and Severin, some of the other cult labels. So I think that's really cool. And yeah, they just do really cool stuff. And I know some people's against their slip covers. It's really the same thing as Scream Factory, but I love their slip covers and I love the way they look on the shelf. And I think their artwork is really cool. So I'm a big fan of Kino Lorber, and I don't even think this is really controversial. I think that most everybody in the chat is going to agree with Kino Lorber being best of the best. That's that. When I started this, I knew there was one truth that I knew, and that was that Kino Lorber is going to be at the top of this list. There's just no debating there. And yeah, like Theomite said, the packaging leaves something to be desired. But to be honest, like, do we really need all that? With Kino Lorber, do you want him to get bogged down in like super nice packaging releases, and then we have to pay like $50 for a Kino Lorber 4K? Or are you happy with new 4Ks coming up from Kino Lorber showing up on Amazon for $19.99, sales every 3 months where you can get a 4K for $17.99, get a Blu-ray for $9.99 with the slip covers still. I just spent $56 on the Kino Lorber sale, and I got 6 titles in, 6 Blu-rays, and 5 of them had slip covers, and it was $56. So I think when we're also factoring in cost, like that's also a big thing for Kino Lorber, because their quality is so great. And again, I like their slip covers, but they're for what they are, incredible pricing. Sales are fantastic, and a lot of people wait for those sales to pick some stuff up. And I just don't think when you factor all that in, it's very hard to beat Kino Lorber for me at this point in the game. And they were my number 1 label of last year. They've just really ramped it up. So yeah, Kino Lorber, that was an easy one for me. Now let's get into, are we ready to do Criterion yet? Let me keep moving Criterion and Scream down the line a little bit more. I ain't quite ready for them yet. I might move Scream all the way to dead last. We'll talk about Scream Factory last. Mill Creek. You know what? I know Mill Creek gets shit for their transfers. They don't do their transfers. They license their stuff. From what I understand. I want to put Mill Creek in some good stuff because I think their movie picks, they put out a lot of good movies. And the work that they do in television, they put out a lot of TV series on Blu-ray. They did Sequest last year. They did Dawson's Creek this year. They've done a lot of classic TV shows on Blu-ray. So I think you should factor that in. And I love their retro VHS slipcovers. Really nice packaging. I don't think that you can put Mill Creek in word of mouth because you can pretty much go to any store and find a Mill Creek title. They're everywhere. So yeah, I know they get shit with and they're very cheap. Like everything from Mill Creek is very cheap and affordable. So I feel comfortable putting Mill Creek in some good stuff. I don't know if you all do or not. But that's where we're going. That's where we're going. Yeah, I can understand why you would say that. But I think when you're spending $9.99 on Problem Child on Blu-ray with a nice, cool retro slipcover, the stakes aren't very high. So I don't feel comfortable putting them spend money wisely. They got some really great films that they put out. And again, the work that they do with TV, and I like their retro VHS slipcovers. I think it's a really cool thing they got going. And they do a lot of really cool double pack releases and stuff. And yeah, somebody said that they go to bat for the underdog titles. Yeah, they do. They're a budget label, but it's, you need the Mill Creeks in the mix, And I know some people wouldn't even consider Mill Creek a boutique label, but let's see, what'd you say, Manuel? The fact that they are existing HD masters available on streaming that Mill Creek could have used but didn't was the worst part. Yeah, I mean, they do HD. I mean, but yeah, their stuff doesn't. Problem Child looked pretty good though. I will say that. But yeah, no special features or anything like that. There was special features on the Sequest that came out. But yeah, look, when it comes to Problem Child and Problem Child 2, those are movies that I would love Vinegar Syndrome to tackle. A VSU of Problem Child and Problem Child 2 together, like that would be amazing. But we got Mill Creek, so what are you going to do? I think they're a budget label and they put out some good stuff. So it is what it is. I think that they got some good stuff, and that's where I'm going to put them. Let's see. Mondo Macabro. A lot of people that are into Mondo Macabro really love Mondo Macabro, but I just cannot get this one higher than word of mouth. Again, I haven't seen a lot from this label, and they may have some great stuff enough to put them inside a label, but also they don't have the consistency. I'm pretty sure they announce stuff maybe 3 times a year or something. They put out, 4 or 5 titles, which is cool. They're keeping a consistent rate. And for what I hear, their movie selection is great. But it is one that I don't think a lot of people know about. So I think by definition, that's a word of mouth. Again, some people may put them in best of the best, but I just can't quite get them there. Let me know if you all think any different. MVD Rewind. I love Rewinds. And again, I feel like Rewind has the same kind of problems that Mill Creek has. Maybe not as severe. But I feel comfortable putting MVD Rewind in some good stuff. I love the label. Again, I love their little, video store style packaging. The Swamp Thing 4K really was a great release. That really kind of blew me away. It looked fantastic, and I was not expecting that out of MVD, especially since a lot of their Blu-rays aren't the best transfer-wise. So MVD Rewinds, I feel comfortable putting in some good stuff. They're kind of on the Mill Creek level to me, but I think they're a little bit better for sure. And they get some new special features sometimes, and their packaging is really cool. I think they got reversible cover arts, and I get excited when they announce a new MVD Rewind title. I like their stuff, and I think they curate a pretty good selection of films. They're not all bangers. Witch Trap was not great. It was not. But I love Last American Virgin. I thought that was a great movie. Miami Blues and Desperate Hours last year were both really fun. Men at Work's a classic comedy. Vampire's Kiss is silly, but it's fun. And I mean, going all the way back to Abominable, kind of dumb, but it was kind of fun too. They do some good stuff. I appreciate MVD Rewind, and they're affordable, very affordable. Like their new Blu-ray releases are between $18 and $20, and they've got some of the best sales that I've ever seen. I got a lot of their titles with the slipcovers off of the who used to do their sales. I cannot exactly remember who did their sales. It didn't come from MVD Direct. It was damn, I can't remember if it was Deep Discount or Grindhouse maybe. I cannot remember who did their sales. But I remember they did a sale one time and they had Blu-rays for $6. And I scooped up a lot of stuff. It might have been Deep Discount. It could have been. I scooped up a lot of their stuff in those sales. I think I got like 11 or 12 titles for like $60 or $70 or something. It was ridiculous. So yeah, it could have been any one of those. It was a long time. It was probably like 3 years ago that happened. Yeah. But let me know what y'all think. I think some good stuff's a good spot for MVD Rewind. Again, they're not bangers. Not all bangers. Some of them are. I think Last American Virgin was a really great release, actually. There were some new features on that one, I think. And Swamp Thing was an incredible release. So they're pretty consistent as well. So, well, thank you, Quasimo. I appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, really good pricing on that Swamp Thing 4K. And I think I saw somewhere, I don't remember where I saw this, but that Swamp Thing 4K was the second best selling 4K or something of the week, which is really awesome. Um, yeah, I root for MVD. I like the guy that runs the label. I'm blanking on his name right now, but uh, I've watched some interviews with him. He seems like a cool guy. I actually saw him on TikTok in like a random kind of roundtable interview. He's a cool dude though, and yeah, I dig the label, and I just kind of root for him a little bit. So I like the MVD label. Yeah, that was another cool one they put out, Disturbing Behavior. That was a good one. Okay. Let's go to Paramount Presents. I really like Paramount Presents a lot. I've been in on Paramount Presents since the beginning. I've got every one of their titles except for I think I'm missing 2 right now currently. And they're the 2 that have 4Ks. I think the ones I haven't picked up yet. Another 48 Hours I haven't grabbed, and Almost Famous I haven't grabbed. But I'm pretty complete on Paramount Presents, and I've loved that label since it came out. It came out of the gate swinging with Fatal Attraction and To Catch a Thief, which, God, they've been redoing all of them on 4K. Why not do To Catch a Thief on 4K? Why the hell have they not done that on 4K yet? Like, that would look amazing. But yeah, that's, to me, it's a solid label. And they're almost on, are they to 50 already? Or are they, did they just hit 40? I think they just hit 40. But ever since they went to 4K, like their transfers are amazing. Like this Nutty Professor was one of the best 4Ks of this entire year. Red Eye looked really good. Wasn't the best I've ever seen. Double Jeopardy looked really good. Wasn't the best I've ever seen. Elvis, Blue Hawaii. I want to watch that movie again just for the visuals. That one looked freaking awesome. And the curation of their movies, their movie selection is like second to none. Like these are a lot of great films in the, I mean, they got Airplane, they got Ghost, they got Pretty in Pink, they got Roman Holiday, they got The Golden Child, Trading Places. Like they just got a really cool, they have some really cool movies. Last Train from Gun Hill is freaking awesome. I love that movie. They got Nashville. I haven't seen that one. Breakdown, Vanilla Sky. Yeah, I'm looking at it, but yeah, just some good stuff. Solid stuff. Liberty Balance. I loved it. I loved it. See, the Liberty Balance 4K transfer, I heard people talking crap about it. I thought it was really good. I didn't have any issue with it. Now, granted, I watched it on my old TV, so maybe I need to watch it again, but I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it looked super sharp and good. I like black and white and 4K, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. So, yeah, I'm comfortable putting Paramount Presents in solid label. I know it's an issue. I think there is a problem with and they're getting more into special features now, which they haven't really done until now. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, John Public. Spend money wisely. Yeah, I mean, their movie selection's great. Another big criticism is obviously they keep re-releasing them on 4K, and it's like, why don't you just put the 4Ks in the Paramount Presents line and then give them the same spine number and then have that silver case? Like, why aren't they doing that? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you created this boutique label line for Paramount and you want it to be like a Criterion, right? That's the goal. At least that's what it feels like. Then do what Criterion does. When they release a 4K, they put it in the line and they put the number on the spine. It's the same type of release. Do that for Paramount Presents. Roman Holiday should have the flip cover and it should have a silver spine with the same number that Roman Holiday Blu-ray had in the Paramount Presents line. And you should just be able to replace it. That would smooth everything over with collectors. That wouldn't even be an issue. Nobody would even care about having the double dip. But it's the fact that you put the 4K out, but it's in this different packaging or just the regular slipcover packaging. So, yeah, there's definitely issues, and they are very costly as well. And I think that some of them have been very costly without justifying that cost. I've talked myself down. Look, they had some good releases. I'll put them in some good stuff. Um, I can't get them in solid label. I put them in some good stuff. They've been consistent though. They've done good. Radiance. Let's talk about Radiance. Radiance. I've watched two of their films. They're a brand new label. To me, they've come out of the gate swinging, and they are just killing it right now. Like they're putting out like 2 or 3, 4 titles a month. They've got all kinds of announcements coming this fall. Some really cool box sets coming. This Franco Nero box set is amazing. I'm looking forward to diving into this soon. But I haven't seen enough. But much like Imprint, the people are hyping up Radiance like no other label right now in the world of physical media. I feel like the people that love Radiance really love Radiance, and it's getting a lot of hype and it's getting a lot of praise. They're brand new, but I mean, this is how you want to start a label, coming out of the gate swinging. So I will keep Radiance in solid label. I think they haven't really missed anything. So I mean, again, they're new, so I can't put them in best of the best, but like they're in the Blu-ray transfer that I saw for the movies that I watched were really great. So I'll look forward to see what they do in 4K. Yeah, I feel comfortable putting them in a solid label. And I just think the future is very exciting for them as well. And I like their packaging. It's unique packaging. You know, they got the little slip thing on the side. So, yeah, it's tough sometimes, man. I mean, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. And some of you all may not think that, but I really am. I've got 2 labels, one of which I don't have any experience with at all, and one of which I have very little experience with, but based on the hype of others that I hear talk about it, I put them in solid label. Whereas my heart is with the Paramount Presents and MVD line. Like I love those lines and I watch a lot more from those. But because I watch a lot more from those, I can point out more faults, I guess. So yeah, Radiance is solid. That's final. That's final. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Criterion. Let's just go ahead and do it. Criterion Collection. I want to say that they're a solid label. This one's, look, the output, just like a lot of the big labels like Arrow Video, Scream Factory, Shop Factory, Vinegar Syndrome, outputs every month. They're announcing new stuff. I mean, there's no question about the output. They do 4 or 5 releases every month, and they're all usually pretty solid. Their movie curation is, by all accounts, great. They're doing some great films that may not be for everybody, may not speak to everybody, but they're great films. Classic films that have stood the test of time. And it's no doubt a label that a lot of people get excited for. They've suffered from a lot of the same problems that Arrow Video has suffered from, Scream Factory. They're re-releasing a lot of stuff, but I think this year in particular, they've shown that they're not just about the re-release. They've been doing re-releases for sure. But they've also done some really cool shit for the first time this year, like Thelma and Louise, like After Hours. La Bamba's coming, and I'm really excited about that. I feel like I'm excited for a lot more stuff this year than I was last year, if that makes any sense. But even going into last year, as they closed the year out, Malcolm X was an incredible release. Wall-E was super surprising. That shocked the world. People that had never bought a Criterion before were buying Criterions because of that Wall-E release. And what they've got coming this fall, like, I'm really excited for that Freak set, The Others, Mean Streets just got me all hot and bothered. I cannot wait for that. So, but again, doing a lot of 4K re-releases. Yeah, Jordo's saying everything you're saying is best of the best material. Yeah, I think Criterion's really doing great right now. They're doing a lot of re-releasing, but everybody's doing a lot of re-releasing. Arrow's doing a lot of re-releasing. And here's another thing. Criterion currently has what I consider to be the best release of the year with Thelma and Louise. So yeah, we'll put Criterion in best of the best. We got them up there. I just had to talk myself through it. I kind of was leaning on best of the best, but I was like, am I being too kind to Criterion? Because look, when you buy Criterion, you do spend some money. You spend some money. You will, if you buy it when it comes out, I mean, shit, you're going to spend $35 for the 4K. And they're not putting slipcovers on a lot of those. You may get a digipack every now and then, which I love their digipacks. I love them. Another thing, though, I've been watching a lot of Criterions, or not a lot, but the Criterions I have watched recently, it doesn't feel like they're adding a lot of new special features in. I feel like they used to do a lot more than they do now. So I feel like they've kind of fallen off. I feel like they've kind of fallen off a little bit on the special features front. But, I mean, their curation's excellent. Quality, outstanding, second to none. I mean, that's, like I said, Thelma and Louise After Hours looked amazing. I'm super excited for what they got coming out the rest of the year. Look, I dog on their sales sometimes because the Barnes & Noble sales, it's cool. And I do take advantage of them. Flash sales, you can get a Criterion for $20, but still it's $20 for a Blu-ray and a sale. Doesn't feel like a sale. And they never do anything extra. Like, you never get anything like what you do with Kino Lorber or Vinegar Syndrome. Well, they'll just put stuff down at like $13 or $14. Just never happens from Criterion. Amazon will do it sometimes randomly. Like Fantastic Mr. Fox was like $14. But yeah, and I mean it is about the discovery sometimes, Manuel. It's a good way to discover films, and that's kind of what it's all about in this collecting space. We are buying a lot of films we've never seen. Sometimes we get some heat for that, but it's the way it is. Oh, did it? Yeah, they'll do that sometimes. Like they're doing that with the Last Picture Show, putting that the sequel on there, and they did it with Shaft last year. I did not know that Petite Maman had a whole movie though. So, yeah, it could be a case I just don't watch enough. But I also I react to a lot of the announcements, so I feel like I kind of know what's going on. Yeah, I think best of the best is good for them right now because I need to watch that Targets movie. They have put out some really cool movies this year. Mildred Pierce looked great. Inland Empire, I know a lot of people are excited about. Last year they did Lost Highway, Shaft, Double Indemnity. Raging Bull was great. They have been on a hot streak. So I'll give it to Criterion. Best of the best. RLJE Films, just like Full Moon, is spend money wisely. There are some good films in there for sure. I love Host, but I like found footage movies anyway. Psycho Goreman, it was okay. That movie's really not for me. But there was a lot of it doesn't feel like RLJE has really been hitting recently, and I hate that they become so inconsistent with their slipcovers. Some stuff has slips, some stuff doesn't. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me what they're doing with that. But they're putting out some good steel books. They're putting out some good steel books that are Walmart exclusives. They got a bunch of them coming this fall for Walmart, including Bone Tomahawk, which I'm really excited about. And they put out a steelbook for what I consider to be a top 3 horror film of 2023. You guys want to know what it is? Skinamarink. Amazing film. Read it and weep. I've lost all credibility now because I said Skinamarink was top 3 of the year. VHS 99 I really like, though. I did really like VHS 99 and VHS 94. And look, if it wasn't for VHS 94 and RLJE, we would not have this gentleman right now. We have Ratma because of RLJE and Shudder. So there you go. But yeah, it's definitely very hit or miss. Now the stakes aren't very high; they're not too expensive. But I think that their price has even gone up. I think they used to be like $12.99, and now they're kind of leaning more towards $17.99, $18.99. So, Manuel, I feel like Skinamarink would have been right up your alley. Yeah, it's they definitely have some good movies. I'm not saying they don't have good movies, but they got a lot of stinkers in there. I'm comfortable putting RLJE and spend money wisely, but I don't know. They did Mandy, which was awesome. Color Out of Space. I'm sure if I went over there, I could probably find some. I got a whole shelf, like whole section of RLJE over there. Apex. Who could forget about Apex with Bruce Willis? They did that. You know what? I'm feeling nice tonight. I'm going to move RLJE out into word of mouth. We'll move them up to word of mouth. I think that's a good spot. All right. Let's do old Vinegar. Let's just get Vinegar Syndrome out of the way. What do y'all want to do with Vinegar Syndrome? If we're going packaging, best of the best. Every day of the week. If we're going to movie selection, spend money wisely. If we're going to cost and quality of sales, they've had some really good sales. I would say solid, you know. If we're going quality, I already said quality, best of the best. If we're going to output, I mean, you combine that, what they put out every month with their, partner labels, best of the best. They're doing all kinds of shit. How fun is the experience of collecting for them? I find it extremely fun. I'm kind of addicted to Vinegar Syndrome, even though I know that some of the titles I'm getting aren't going to be the best, but I just love the packaging. I love the experience of being on their website. I think they just have one of the best websites. And there's just something very addicting about collecting for Vinegar Syndrome. Once you start, you just can't stop. And it's the packaging, and their stuff has incredible special features. And look, I made a video. I didn't make a video. I actually clipped it from the Physical Media Report, but I talked about, is Vinegar Syndrome disappointing in 2023? I think that for me personally, just my expectations were a little bit too high, and they were disappointing me a little bit. And yeah, they are a little bit disappointing this year because I just thought they were going to do a little bit more high profile releases, but maybe that's not what Vinegar Syndrome was. Maybe that's not what they're aiming to do with the label. They've still put out some really great stuff this year. Sidekicks from Beyond. Freeway 2 was a really great release. Primal Rage, I thought was a really great release. Showgirls is my number 2 release of the year. I thought it looked incredible. The movie's fun too. But the transfer looked amazing. I still haven't got my replacement disc in though, but the fact that they told everybody that the disc was messed up before anybody even discovered it and said, we're going to send you replacement discs out, like that's a great company. So they definitely treat their customers with respect and dignity, unlike some labels. And it's just a really good experience. I know you have to wait sometimes for the sales, but that's they only got so many people working for them. I can only assume they're doing their best. So this one's really tough. And I mean, that Blade in the Dark set was great. And we still don't know what they're going to do in September, October, and November, which, if you remember last year, those were the months where they just destroyed and blew all of our minds. And I'm hoping they're going to do that again. And I feel like they are. I feel like they're pacing themselves with killer condoms. So I think right now it's besides movie selection, which again is subjective. Even though they have put out some high profile stuff, it's subjective. I think they blow it out of the water on all other fronts. So it is tough for me to not put them in best of the best. Because while they are disappointing me a little bit this year, I just think that it's tough to beat Vinegar Syndrome right now. They're firing on all cylinders. I know there's going to be a lot of people that disagrees, but yeah, for mediocre movies, it says Huck. Well, welcome, Huck. What's up, Hucky? But they're not all mediocre. Some of them are really good. Some of them are just trash, but they're fun to watch. No, because I think they have several categories where, to me, they're best of the best. Really, I would say almost all their categories are best of the best. I think their sales are really good. The experience of collecting for them is best of the best. Output, best of the best. Quality, best of the best. The only thing that they're down in spend money wisely is the movie selection. But again, that's subjective. Some people really like that stuff. So I got to keep them in best of the best. And I know that might piss some people off, but my list, my rules, baby. All right. Shout Studios. I am going to throw Shout Select in Solid Label. I don't feel like Shout Studios has done, Shout Select in particular, has done a ton this year outside of the Jackie Chan movies. I feel like they've been a little lacking this year. They got Natural Born Killer coming out. I'm pretty sure that's Shout Select. But overall, they do some good stuff. They did Red Dawn last year, which was a really cool release. So I don't know. Maybe they're not firing on all cylinders, or maybe they're not doing that great. Maybe Shout Studios belongs on some good stuff. I'll keep them there. I don't think they've been doing a ton this year. All right, let's Blue Underground is they really haven't done hardly anything this year, have they? Have they done anything this year? I know they've been talking about doing something before the end of the year, but have they put out any release this year? Oh, the Jess Franco films they put out. Those are really good. Really, they look great. The movies were all right. I thought, which one was it? Justine or Philosophy on the Boudoir. One of those was a really good movie, and the other one was just kind of leaning more on exploitation with Christopher Lee. But their transfers are always amazing, though. I do feel like it's a word of mouth label, though. Like when their stuff comes out, people definitely hype it up. So yeah, Blue Underground's word of mouth. Visual Vengeance. I'll put that down with Full Moon. Spend money wisely. But again, I haven't checked out many of their titles, but from what I've heard, a lot of them are shot on video. A lot of them aren't great. But looking on the back of this, they got a bunch of new special features on this Abomination. The artwork on the packaging super cool. Output's not great though. I think these are the first. I think Abomination and Replicator are the first titles of 2023. I think. I don't know too much about the quality of the releases, how good the transfers are. Imagine if it's SOV, it's not going to be that great looking anyway. But yeah, I think this is kind of like Full Moon where you really don't know what you're getting unless you look into it. So spend your money wisely because you may be spending $20-$30 on one of the worst movies ever made. But again, it has some merit. It was a film that deserves to be restored, right? All right. Yeah, Visual Vengeance, spend money wisely. I feel comfortable putting that there. Unless I watch Abomination and Replicator and they blow me away, then I may come back and put them in word of mouth. All right, we're going to Synapse. And Synapse is difficult. They have done some stuff this year, right? Besides Phenomenon and Tenebrae on 4K. Have they done some other things? Or am I thinking about last year when they did Massacre at Central High, The Kindred, Satan's Little Helper? Now they're supposed to have Trick or Treat coming on 4K this year, but there's no like official announcement for that. And Tenebrae, look, Tenebrae was a great release. I got it right here. It was top tier release of 2022. This is just a re-release with a new slipcover. It looks great. I recommend it. Let me look for sure. I want to say Creature from Black Lake was this year, but I feel like that could have been last year too. But damn, their quality's great, and I think their movie selection's pretty solid too. They got some bangers. They've got some softcore porn as well, but they've got some really good movies too. Sales, I don't feel like I've seen anybody do a sale for Synapse in a while, but they used to be pretty decent. Cost is a little steep, but for the quality that you're getting, it's decent. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I think they're kind of in the same boat as Blue Underground right now. Maybe a little bit better because they are doing some new stuff, but it's not a lot. So I put Synapse and word of mouth. I want to put them in some good stuff, but I don't know. Second Sight. Where are we going with Second Sight? I feel like if I don't put Second Sight in best of the best, I'm going to get like the most backlash I've gotten the entire night. So the only thing going against Second Sight is their output is good, and I think that they've really ramped things up in 2023. But it is a label that, may go a couple months without releasing anything. Then they release 2 or 3 titles, and then maybe they'll take the next couple months off, and then they'll release 1, and then they'll take a month off, and then release 2. So it's consistent, though. I mean, it's all through the year. And let's face it, they're doing new stuff to get super excited for. Like when they do an announcement, you're just like drooling when they do it. And their curation and what they put out is excellent. Like their movies are freaking awesome. Texas Chainsaw Massacre release was incredible. The Guest and The Witch and Drive, like I still can't get over, and the fact they're doing It Follows, like I'm over the moon for it. I can't wait. We got The Hitcher on the way. And you can't take away from their packaging. It's maybe the best in the boutique business. And their restorations are always incredible, and they've always got a really good amount of special features. And it's yeah, I feel comfortable putting Second Sight best of the best. I don't know about you guys, but they're killing it right now. Absolutely killing it. I need to check out that May and Frontiers releases. But every time I get a Second Sight release, I'm just like, I love this so much. I wish I'd been collecting for them for longer. I wish I would have got that Revenge set that came out a few years ago, but I didn't. Yeah, if anybody has anything to say about that, let me know. So Severin's another label I don't know too much about. I know they definitely have a fan base. I'm leaning towards putting them in some good stuff because I know they have some good stuff. I'm just not that aware of them. I know they just put out a big 12 film porn box set that a lot of people were excited about. But besides that, they've done a lot of good releases. They've also done a lot of controversial releases. Some releases that came out over a weekend, and that's all the only time you could order them. And then they said it was going away forever, and then it came back at conventions. And apparently, people can request it through email. The Four Flies on Grey Velvet release. That release kind of upset me a little bit because like I wanted it, and that was my peak season at work, and I was super busy all weekend, and I didn't get a chance to get it. And by the time Monday hit, it was gone, and I was like, "What the hell?" Felt like it just came and went before I realized it. So that's something I would have ordered for them. And I don't order from them too much, but I keep going back to when I bought Overboard from them, and I couldn't get the case out of the slipcover. I'm not a big fan of their packaging. But they do some incredible looking box sets for sure. And they had a slate of announcements recently that looked really incredible. They had a little plushie set of the guy from Maniac in it. Blanking on his name. He was also in Rocky, and he was just in Cruising. I just watched that. God, what is his name? Somebody let me know in the chat. But yeah, they did a bunch of really cool box sets and releases, and I think they're getting ready to announce a bunch of other cool stuff to close out the year. So Severin's doing some good stuff for sure. I think their pricing is out of control to the point where I don't even when I think their stuff looks really awesome, I just can't get it because $60-$70 for a new release, new 4K release, even if it is a really nice box set, I just can't do it. Not when Vinegar Syndrome's putting out nice VSU box sets for, I think Showgirls was like 37 or $38, which is a lot, but it ain't no 60 or 70 that Severin's charging. So I think that's something that's definitely working against them is their pricing. Maybe bring that down a little bit. And as for their curation, from what I've heard, they do a good job and they have some good movies. But yeah, I don't know. I'm comfortable putting Severin in some good stuff. Studio Canal's got a lot of cool steelbook releases, right? A lot of cool box sets, and I don't buy a lot of them, but they do some good transfers. I'll put them in some good stuff. Does anybody object to that? Let me know. Terror Vision. I don't have a ton of experience with Terror Vision. They're much like Vinegar Syndrome with their packaging. The Linnea Quigley sets was cool. And they're announcing like they're much like Radiance, they're coming out of the gate swinging. But they're doing a lot of underground titles. I don't think they have as much notoriety as Radiance with the film community. Definitely with the cult film community. But I think they're very much, again, word of mouth. And they're growing and they're gaining word of mouth for sure. And I'm definitely super interested in the label. But I don't know. I feel comfortable putting them in word of mouth. They're doing a lot of exciting stuff, but they're still announcing a bunch of movies that I've never really heard of. So it's hard to get super excited for their stuff they're doing. The only thing I heard of was the Linnea Quigley workouts. Now, I will say I do have that Malum 4K pre-ordered, and I do have these there was like a 4-film box set they just announced. I did pre-order that. So there's a couple releases from them I pre-ordered. I do want to order some more so I can get more familiar with the label. I think they're doing some really cool stuff. They're doing it smart. And I love what they're doing with their 13 weeks of terror, where they're announcing stuff like every single Tuesday. I think that's super cool. And they're the only label I've ever seen go live on their YouTube channel to announce a bunch of shit. I thought that was awesome, because we see like all the YouTubers doing that kind of stuff, like me and other channels. We'll get on here and announce stuff, but to have it from the actual people that run the label and get that insight was really cool. And I've never seen anything like that done before. So they're one that, this time next year, maybe they'll move up, but definitely want to keep an eye on for sure, but definitely very much a word of mouth label right now. And guys, look, we still have, I'm 2.5 hours in. Jesus Christ, I gotta speed this up. I appreciate you guys being here. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Yeah, thank y'all so much. Let's close this out. We got Umbrella. I think Umbrella is a solid label. I think they're doing consistent stuff. It's 2 to 3 releases every month, and they're doing some really awesome stuff, collector's editions that rival the Arrow video releases. This Razorback release was freaking amazing. An entire novel in here. This was like a second sight release, this Razorback set. So Umbrella's doing incredible stuff. Really cool titles. Also like Ninja Turtles, the Stinkovision title, the Weird Al 4K. Just a good selection of film. That Repo Man set was cool. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I had fun with it, to be honest, but again, it's not the best movie. But yeah, I think they're doing a lot of cool stuff. Kids, I know a lot of people were really excited about Kids that just came out. So I think Umbrella across the board, just like Imprints. I'm more familiar with Umbrella than I am Imprint. I think they're just a solid label. It's very consistent, puts out quality movies, and has good special features. And yeah, I'm comfortable with solid label. I keep saying that I'm comfortable. Vestron Video, I love Vestron. They're going straight up in the best of the best, babies. Anybody got any problem with that? You shouldn't, because it's going there. No, I'm not putting Vestron in best of the best. This one is very tough, though, because I love what Vestron's doing right now, and I love the fact that they put out a release for $11.99, 2-movie release like The Dentist, and it has new special features, and it's got really good quality scans, and it's got really awesome artwork on the packaging, and it's got digital codes, and it's just like $11.99 for 2 movies with features and good scans, digital code, great packaging. It's like freaking boutique labels that charge you $40 for their releases aren't doing that, but Vestron's doing it for $11.99. And Silent Night, Deadly Night last year, I think that was like $11.99 or $12.99 or something. 3 movies, special features. It's just amazing what they're doing. Like, you can't say enough good things. And I know it's, Lionsgate, and they kind of do that for a lot of their titles, but it's something you definitely got to keep in mind, for sure. That being said, their output isn't amazing, and they really haven't done a ton this year. They just did My Best Friend's a Vampire, which is a really solid release. I enjoyed that film a lot. If you like the movies like Fright Night, I think you'll enjoy that film. Kind of in the same league as it, I think. Maybe a little bit less of an edge. It's more of a PG Fright Night. I enjoyed that a lot. They did The Dentist earlier this year, Silent Deadly Night. So their output's not like insane. Have they made their announcements for this October? I forget if they've announced something already. I don't think they have. I'm sure they'll come out with at least 2 more titles before the end of the year. So I their movie selection. Look, I really genuinely like or love a lot of the stuff they put out. I thought Earth Girls Are Easy was a super cool release. But do I keep them in solid label just based on the price alone? I'm kind of leaning that way, even though I know their output's not great. But you just can't beat that. I think that needs to be celebrated. And I think that every single Vestron video release that comes out at $11.99, I think should be supported. I think we should all be buying that. Every single one of us. I love it on Tuesdays when a new Vestron comes out. Everybody's buying it. That don't usually buy boutique labels, but they're buying that because it's a cool looking release and it's cheap. So it's the working man label is what Vestron Video is. I appreciate that. And I think Candyman Day of the Dead went down to like $6 at one point last year. So yeah, that needs to be celebrated. I'm keeping them in solid label. I like Vestron a lot. I like them a lot. All right. We got Warner Archive. Very consistent. They're always announcing stuff. They just announced 6 new titles. Quality's good. They don't always have a lot of new special features, but I think what they're doing, just reviving a lot of these classic films from the 30s and 40s and 20s is really cool. I think it needs to be done. And I'm happy that Warner Brothers is keeping this label going because at one point we kind of thought it was going away. I don't buy enough titles from Warner Archive, but they got a really great selection of films. And I think they deserve solid label. I do, because their output's really good. Their movie selection's good. Their quality of their scans, yeah, they're all Blu-rays, but they all look really great. And they look good on the shelf together as well. I like their spines and just very consistent, solid label. I think that's the very definition of solid label is Warner Archive. So, all right, we got Scream Factory left. I'm going to go through these comments one more time. Vinegar Syndrome needs to be solid label, great sales, packaging, great output. I'll put them in best of the best, Jason. Exactly, Frightful Night Media. It's like an event when there's Vinegar Syndrome announcements. Like Scream Factory and Arrow and Criterion, I get excited for those announcements, but when Vinegar Syndrome Day comes, the first of the month, I am just like so excited. I'm often disappointed, but I'm so excited for what's going to happen. And all the partner labels and what's going to show up. Are they going to throw something else cool out there? Like this golden era set right here. Like, I think that's a great point, and that's why I put them in best of the best, because we just get so excited for their stuff. We get let down, but we get so excited. All right. Speaking of Vinegar Syndrome, my Soka, nice. Yeah, I don't know where mine is. It's a good point, Vin. They're shit, but we're happy when we get it. It's well packaged shit, and we love it. Cellar Door, got to be the best of the best. The way they've improved with some awesome titles, CCM 4K and the scanner cop set. Yeah. 2 months in. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's definitely a criticism you can have. I'm more, I guess, in the camp of I'm just kind of used to it. Like I just expect that from them. I don't expect to get my stuff super quick from them. I kind of just, wait around and get it when I get it. They got to cater to their subscribers first. And I get it. They could probably do better. I'm sure they're dealing with staff shortage and cost cutting that everybody else is having to deal with right now as well. Yep. Oh, wait, Munchie's saying he worth a subscription. I can't put Vinegar Syndrome as best of the best. If titles are better, I could Killer Condom people. I know, Hook. That's the only thing they got working against them. Yeah, that was a great release. Amityville was great. I will say Vintage does seem like the label you're most hype on lately. Even Michelle has stated in a recent live stream that they seem to be all you talk about. Yeah. Let's see, guys. Scrolling through kind of quick. Hey, not even a lenticular, man. Could get it out. Toolbox Murders. Terrible films. Synapse has one of the best title releases of the entire 4K format. That alone should be worthy of top billing. Yeah, one title cannot get you in best of the best. I think it's got to be a collection of really great titles, which they have, but they're just not doing a ton. Oh, man, y'all are active tonight. I appreciate it. The guest was number of second site titles I own 0. I don't import rating logos. You don't have to manual. It's not hard to import, man. You just get on Diabolic and that's the thing though. The logos, they're not on the boxes. Yeah, when you take it out, you might get one, but this box of Texas Chainsaw, there ain't no logo on that. I mean, I get it. I don't like them either, but the second site releases, you don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff. McBain. Yeah, McBain was one. Thank you for pointing that out. I did watch that. It looked really good. Should I move Synapse up because of McBain that came out? Maybe I should. Yeah, it follows. Looks great. My StreamYard is moving super slow tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Second Sight is the most highly rated, but their aware criterion had been a one time where everyone was ready to give them 10 out of 10 before they even receive a release. Yeah. I get that point too. It is expensive, Brian. It is expensive. But they deliver. You're not disappointed when you get it. Yeah. I mean, but they've ramped up this year though, Culture. They've done, Martin, Texas Chainsaw, Changeling, the May, and I think they did Tangerine Dream this year, May, Frontiers, It Follows, Crimes of the Future's coming, and Picnic at Hanging Rock. So they've already done 9 this year, right? And they got a couple on the way and probably a couple more after that, honestly. Top tier packaging. Second Sight is no Vinegar Syndrome for sure. They are actually quality. Severance. Sell some blood to buy 4K. Is that all you have to do? Just email them? Are they going to sell me a damaged copy, though, or is it going to be like a good one? And how much is it going to cost? Am I going to have to wait for my tax return to get it? Is it going to be like $2,000? Thank you, Joe Spinell. Yeah, thank you, Spinello. Studio Canal solid. Yeah, they do some good steelbooks. Yeah, Frank, this is going to be an all-nighter. I get it. For some people, they're coming out of the gate swinging. They absolutely are the best of the best. I just haven't checked out enough of their stuff. And I do think that they're very much a word-of-mouth label at this point. I like TerraVision, though. They're exciting me. Umbrella is solid. Where did I have Umbrella? Yeah, I put Umbrella in solid. I don't think that's the case, Gus. Because again, like Mill Creek, spend money wisely. Like it's they're not that expensive. So you ain't got to worry about if it ain't good, it ain't good. But you're getting quality with it. You're getting digital code. You're getting good scans, special features, packaging. It's good stuff. The Black Emmanuel black box set. All right, let's get to. I appreciate all the comments, everybody. I do. Warner Archive, Best of the Best, and Scream Solid. Vestron is Best of the Best. Don't move them down. Vestron is not consistent. Man, I missed all these comments. Taco Bell label. Scream and spend money wisely. Oh, shit. I love it. I love the Scream hate. That's why I saved them for last. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome's fun. That has to rate on that. I mean, it's just fun. I had the most fun waiting for the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Yeah, those shows are always super fun, Jason. I always listen to because they're usually I always listen to them the next day. Usually the drops come on the weekends a lot when I'm working. $55, and it's not a damaged copy. I get one by email. Okay, I might grab that then. But again, why don't you just put that on your site? Like, why do you have to create some like backdoor way of getting it? Yeah, the older ones are good too. I'm holding off. I always like to build anticipation, Craig. All right, look, Scream Factory, I'll just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. To me, I'm not going to put them in spend money wisely. I think that Scream Factory's had a hell of a year this year. I really do. Does that make them best of the best? It does not. Because there has been a lot of issues, and a lot of the stuff they're doing are re-releases. They don't do enough original stuff. They don't do as much as Arrow and Criterion and Kino Lorber, Vinegar Syndrome, and Second Sight, and some of the other top labels. So it feels like every month it's like 3 re-releases, 1 cool release that most of the time's a Blu-ray, like My Demon Lover. Now I will say the Night of the Demons 3-pack set was pretty cool, but 2 of them are Blu-rays. Blob, Pumpkinhead re-releases. It feels like they're re-releasing everything out the butt. But their re-releases that they've been doing, I think for some of them have been very justified this year. People Under the Stairs Blu-ray did not look great. That 4K looks amazing. The Burning, that Blu-ray did not look great. The 4K looks amazing. Dawn of the Dead remake, the Blu-ray looked okay. The 4K looked amazing. So there has been some justifiable stuff. But the main reason I could never get Scream Factory the best of the best is because they did Bubba Hotep. So for that, they can never be in my best of the best. Sorry. But look, I love Scream Factory. I'm just joking. All jokes aside, I love Scream Factory. I get excited for their releases, because I think they really do a good job. I think their transfers are really solid across the board. They have their misses here and there. But I get excited for their stuff. And, we're talking about original stuff. All the Chuckies they just put out, that's all brand new to Scream Factory. They've never done any of these before. Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky. They've never done any of those. So those are all original titles. So yeah, but they're not best of the best. There's just too many issues. There's just too much negativity surrounding them because some of this comes down to just excitement for the label. But I'm leaning towards solid label because I think they are a solid label and I think they do solid work. And I think this year compared to 2022, where they were having tons of issues and tons of backlash for a variety of things, I think they mostly fixed it. The only thing I can think of that they did this year somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. The backlash that they got over the Bubba Hotep release, where they cut the hole in the back of the custom slipcover or the newly commissioned artwork slipcover, they cut a hole in the back and you couldn't see all the artwork that you're supposed to see on the back because they're not supposed to cut holes in the back of these extra slipcovers. So that's the only thing I really, besides the re-releases, that's the only thing I could really think of to criticize them on in 2023. So again, I don't think it makes them best of the best because 2022 was pretty rough. But I think that they're solid. I think that they're a solid label, at least. But this is the last one, and I'm willing to put it to a poll. But it's going to be between solid label and some good stuff. If you all want it to be down in some good stuff, we can do that. Bubba Hotep is not best of the best. Quit playing. It's not right. It's not right at all for you to say that. All right, let's start a poll. Scream Factory, solid label, or some good stuff. Bubba Hotep was insanely boring. I did not like that film. I did not like that film. All right. We'll see what you all have to say. Let me read some of the comments real quick. Vote fast, guys, because I'm only going to keep this poll up for like 2 minutes tops. Because this is just lagging like a son of a gun. Oh, I'm glad y'all wanted me to do a poll. That's what I did. Yeah, I don't think Scream Factory is going to do that. I think that ship has sailed, in my opinion. I think Warner Brothers is going to do a 4K pack next year. And it's going to look like the Rocky set. I'm calling it. I've said that numerous times. So when that happens, you heard it here first. I predicted it. Okay. Warner Brothers is doing Nightmare on Elm Street 4K set like they did Rocky, like they did Superman. If we're lucky, it'll be like Superman with all individual cases. But it'll probably be like the Rocky Digipack set. I fell out of love with Scream Factory, but they belong in Best of the Best. Oh, you think so, Culture? That's surprising. Movie selection. I mean, they got the high profile releases. I mean, let's be honest. They got the shit you heard of. Like, you know the movies from Scream Factory. Like, they're the movies that you remember on the video store shelves when you were a kid. They're not all bangers, but they're notable titles that you know. So they got that going for them. If that means anything. But, you know, their packaging leaves a lot to be desired. They could be doing more with it. But quality-wise, I still think they're great. And when they go all in on special features, they have some great ones. And they have some great ones from their past. So Bubba Hotep is worse than every Vinegar Syndrome title that I've watched. Straight up. They are. It may take you 3 months to get them, but they're impressive. When they've done for my favorite film franchise, Halloween puts them right up there for sure. Yeah, that is true, man. Those Halloween, People sleep on those, but all those Halloweens looked amazing. The ones they did last year looked really good too. But I can't put them in best of the best. I'll be sad if somebody does some good, if they vote them for some good stuff. Where'd y'all land? All right. Solid Label, 80%, 55 votes. So good on you all. You went Solid Label, and I agree. I think Solid Label is a good spot for Scream Factory. I don't think they're best of the best. All right, let's rank this. We're going to put this in ranking order. We have 30 titles, so coming in at number 30 is Full Moon. Sorry, Full Moon. But I think Visual Vengeance's packaging beat you. So Visual Vengeance is 29. And coming in at... Look, I'm going to move TerrorVision because I think they're doing some cool stuff all the way to the front of the line. I'm going to move Synapse right behind it. RLJE is coming in at 28. Blue Underground, 27. 101 Films, 26. Mondo Macabro, 25. Cauldron, 24. Well, let's move Mondo up. I'll move Mondo ahead of Cauldron. Cauldron's 25. Mondo's 24. A24 is 23. Synapse 22. TerrorVision's 21. Studio Canal is... Severin is 20. Studio Canal is 19. Shout Studios is 18. No, let's move. I'm moving. 88 Films does good stuff. Should I keep? Mill Creek's got to go in the back. Sorry, Mill Creek. Damn, it's getting hard. That's what she said. All right. Let me see. What's the best of these? I'll say probably for most people it's Indicator. Paramount Presents. Eureka's got good stuff. Severin. We'll put Shouts. MVD Rewind. All right. So Mill Creek comes in at 20. Studio Canal 19. 88 Films 18. MVD Rewind 17. Shout Studios 16. Severin 15. Eureka 14. Paramount Presents 12. Indicator 11. Right? I did that wrong because I got 11 left. All right, let's do this again. Let me do this real quick. Scream Factory, I'll move to the head of this stack. I think they deserve that. I'm going to put Imprint right behind them with Radiance, Umbrella. Archive will go in front of Vestron. All right, Full Moon 30, Visual Vengeance. Full Moon is 30, Visual Vengeance 29, RLJE 28, Blue Underground 27, 101 Films 26, Cauldron 25, Mondo 24, A24 23, Synapse 22, TerrorVision 21, Mill Creek 20, Studio Canal 19, 88 Films 18, MVD Rewind 17, Shout Studio 16, Severin 15, Eureka 14, Paramount Presents 13, Indicator 12, Vestron Video is 11, Warner Archive made it into the top 10. How do y'all feel about that? Umbrella number 9, Radiance 8, Imprint 7, Scream Factory 6. But that eats some of y'all alive, doesn't it? All right, now this is the top 5. This is where it'll get tough. And since there was a little bit of controversy putting Vinegar Syndrome up here, I think they deserve the number 5 spot. I think because Second Sight isn't as consistent as these top 3, it deserves number 4, even though it's still great. Arrow Video, as much as it kind of kills me, I think they are killing it. I move Arrow Video into number 3 because I don't think their first half was as nearly as strong as this half coming up. And last year wasn't great for them. Arrow's number 3, and then Criterion 2 and Kino Lorber's 1 for me. So that's it, guys. Take a snapshot. Tell everybody this is Kenny's Levels Crazy Boutique Label tier list. But that's it. 30 labels, tier ranked. Hope it gave you all your money's worth tonight. Let me switch this up. I appreciate. Let me know what y'all think as well. There we go. I appreciate all the donations. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. There was well over 230, 240 people at one point. So I appreciate y'all. I think we got up to 260. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And I'll stick around for another few minutes. We might as well take this to 3 hours. God, I need to go to bed. But Huck said, nice ranking. Thank you, Huck. I appreciate that. Yeah, they're definitely not the most overpriced. Yeah, I think they are doing them by themselves. Well, let me know what y'all think of the ranking. Yeah, I skipped 13. I realized it. Yeah, they did. They did that. I did a whole video on that. I remember. I think that was like a year ago. Yeah. That was definitely the last like super awesome thing that Scream Factory did. That just blew the doors off. I don't think they've reached that peak again. Even with the Halloween releases, those were really cool too, but they weren't all together in a box set. That's what made that release so cool. That really hasn't been done in a lot of box sets. Yeah, it's a good spot for Warner Archive. Yeah, I think if any label can be over Criterion, it's one. And really, Criterion to me wouldn't have got to number 2 if it wasn't for the past couple of months, because their announcements freaking freaks. That box set is so freaking cool. I can't wait to get that. The Others, Main Streets, like they've had some really exciting stuff. Radiance, that's people are excited about that label, and they've been killing it. They've been putting stuff out. So I think number 8 for Radiance is, again, they haven't proved themselves, I guess, but I think it's a good spot for them. New up and coming label. Yep, there's some good stuff. Most people agreeing. I'm sure there's some out there that are, oh, damn it, he didn't give Severin its due. But yeah, I don't think anybody right now beats Kino Lorber. I don't think anybody does. They don't have the most flashy packaging, but that's really the only thing they got working against them. Yeah, dude, that would be freaking awesome. If you all want to make your own tier list, just go to tiermaker.com. Just Google Tiermaker and it'll pop up. If you want to make your own tier list and tag me on Instagram, or make your own video and tag me, sure, we can turn this into a challenge. I'd be all for it. I'd freaking love seeing other people do this. Adding some more labels that I was unfamiliar with. I'd be all for it. With that, Kenneth started the boutique tier list challenge. I already read that. Yeah. Like I said, I tried to be as objective as possible. I could give you 8 of their best titles they've done this year, Manuel. That's the thing with Kino. It's not just one. You're thinking about the one. I'm thinking about the many. Marathon Man, Death Wish, 12 Angry Men with the extra movie. That Missing in Action set was awesome. They did, we're just talking like last year, freaking Tropic Thunder, Mystery Men. Like, that was a really cool fall they had. They did an Italian job this year. Paths of Glory was a great release they did last August. The Dollars trilogy, fantastic. But their output's insane, and their affordability is great. So, I mean, they just hit it on all fronts for me. Night of the Hunter, another one, another great one. What did I watch recently? Oh, To Live and Die in L.A. That was super exciting release, and that looked great. Like I haven't watched the whole movie yet, but what I saw looked fantastic. That's one of the best transfers I've seen this year by far. So yeah, they've done a lot. Needful Things I still need to watch. Dark Sky, as far as I know, all they did was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's see. Kino may be number one if they kept up special features releases. Yeah, I get it. Look, everybody's got their different preferences. Everybody's got their different criteria for what they would do as number one. And there's always pros and cons with everything, right? I think that it's really hard to argue with Kino and Criterion. They just doesn't feel like they've had a lot of misses in a while. So I think for that, they deserve to be the top two. They've just been consistent and good. And you can't say that about very many of the labels. Ugh, really? I love Marathon Man. I thought it looked freaking awesome. Why do you think they're the worst? Worst movies or worst transfer wise? Night of the Hunter looked amazing. The Longest Yard and Ronin and Manchurian Candidate. You know what, Manuel? I will get Michelle to watch House this October because we'll be doing our 13 Days of Horror. Just for your very generous super chats. I will make that happen. All right. Because I really want to watch that. I've heard some really great things about it. So thank you so much, Manuel. I appreciate it. And with that, guys, look, we're done. It was a 3-hour stream. A 3-hour stream. And I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all commenting. Let me take this on. And, I just appreciate you hanging out with me. It's awesome that it's 1:30 and there's still 189 people in here. It's unreal, really, but I appreciate all of you. And this was Ken's Home Video, episode 8. And I like doing this kind of stuff on. That's why I wanted to have like a consistent live stream every week so I could do this kind of crap with you guys and just hang out. And, maybe this isn't something that would have worked as a video, but I think it worked pretty cool as a live stream. And I want to do more rankings. I want to do more tier lists. I want to, bring more guests on, of course, and talk about some fun topics. And try to keep this up every Sunday. And that horror dude, thank you, man. $2 super chat. Thanks for all the awesome content. I really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. Your all support tonight was incredible, and it keeps me going. It keeps me alive. It reminds me why I do this. So I appreciate you guys. We sang that at the same time. The 3 hour. Great minds think alike, Fish. Great minds think alike. All right, but I got to get out of here because 7:30 is going to come early, and I got to take my daughter to school and get the kids ready. And it's back to school is. I love it because I get stuff done during the day now because they're back in school. But also it's hard to wake up that early. But thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, and make your own tier list. Tag me. I'm serious about that. Tag me on Instagram. Tag me in your stories. Make your own video if you got a channel. I would love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. But I'll see y'all later.